got me through cold. Think again, don't you know what you're saying? But you sure we got that clue how the things will go. Don't you know no more art? And there's a rift through the horizon, not that black, cloud and stormy where the so to go. Seems like it crept up out of nowhere, all around you is not what you foretold. You never see it coming. You say that my mind is too fast for life. You're done but the time it sees you, you're not surprised. Think you got your game planned out. Do it deep, get them 2 steps ahead, yeah. So step into my way, stand out. It's a trap, one step, and you're dead. Why just a deep to second arrow with the sky? But now lightning's that your last result. Is that an accident that no one hears you cry as your last breath seems to deserve? You never see it coming.
Okay, you catch more fly with honey than anything else. So I thought I would start out with this very special beginning. Guess it's not getting the GoomerGaters. GoonerGaters. And just to be clear, more of a meme position, but I really don't want to consider them GamerGaters because GamerGate was about ethics, and I don't see any sense of ethics in some of these, what I'm going to be calling GoonerGaters, if I can say it correctly. So let's get a start on it. I was already thinking about doing this from the start because, you know, lack of ethics sort of annoys me, okay, a bit. So how do you deal with such a people who use moral outrage to go against moral outrage? Ethics is the only way I can think to do that effectively. Plus, sort of my wheelhouse. I go cold, rational logic where you can, and try to speculate and have a little bit of fun with it when you're not quite sure. That gray area is a place I like to play around in, and of course, I like a little bit of humor because if you're a humorless bitch, in my opinion, you're not going to get anywhere in this world. But you may disagree with me. So, how do I deal with that? In the end, don't know. But let's start with this thing here. So, seems incorrect to call these unethical clown GamerGaters. GamerGate. Excuse the grammatical missteps in these things in any form or fashion anymore. So I'll be calling this new movement GoonerGate because from now on, because the name fits them on a couple different levels. You know, whole Stellar Blade gooning thing. Think it's over exaggerated. Some of the memes coming out of it are offensive and funny at the same time. There's also the if you don't know what a goon is, I don't need to tell you, but it's neither one of those terms are exactly fun, okay? And why are you making me freaking? I don't like Kotaku. I don't like this Allison's ideas about the world. She has fucking Animal Farm on it when that was a critique of some of the stupidity. Maybe she's playing dumb with some of the things like what she claims to be photoshopped on her shirt. The white people can't be racist bullshit. P plus P equals racism, which is some is simplistically put, some commie gobbledygook. And yeah, another reason to put this on. Really didn't like the art fixing that they tried to do with Hades 2, I think. I think that what they were even fixing, supposedly with Hades 2, was actually art from Hades 1? It's so fucking twisted, the logic to follow these particular people. But yeah, this seems a little bit insane. Some chud paid for my sister's domain name and is emailing her and me for comment on my actions. Anyways, tell me again how this isn't a harassment campaign comprised of obsessed losers with too much free time. And frankly, I'm starting to side with her on this fucking little thing, but we'll get into that. So, following up from my little last short stream, which we go into basically Alex Brazzi, Alessandra Brazzi. Okay. So, oh yeah, another thing of twisting logic. I think I may nope, wrong one, folks. This is quite an interesting thing that I should really not have had bookmarked. Don't know why. Okay, this sort of thing. This sort of logic here. Try to reframe it. It seems a little odd. Lance McDonald. Mostly people say he's a troll. I don't know about those particulars, but he sure made Grums eat humble pie. Should be lots of fun. Love this interaction. Oh, there, good buddy there. I love it too because if you're familiar with Lance, then you know he's trolling the shit out of Grums and using him. Why all the fans are saying bravo, sir. Deleted Dragonflight Man responds to posting the hard R screenshots in Stellar Blade after working together to update a post with his answers. I'm making this on Twitter. He spent the next hour in Discord slamming me. Don't believe a word he says now. Haha, you joined my Discord and you got bullied for being a massive grifter piss baby. Come crying back to your safe space. You're a liar. You leaked it. What did he leak? How does this connect? Where's the logic? And people are just going to bow down to this stupidity without thinking. Okay. Just believe. Listen and believe. And some people are just listening and believing here. Not according to him. Grum seems like to rewrite history. Some other stuff that really isn't relevant. Supposedly, this is the thing that got everyone all worked up. Okay. A whole bunch of stuff, and I guess it's up here, guys. Okay. Let's get to here. The full message, full answers came out of the Nick sort of investigation. So take this with a grain of salt. This is not confirmed. This is just, I've gotten a lot of stories from people about the situations not unlike this. Tell people at Blizzard they had no career there, throwing things at meetings, threatening to fire people if they didn't show up to work, and then not showing up himself. There's a lot. So finally, you get to here's a little bit more on top. Just on top of it, did you hear the one about when he hired a convicted? Good on him. The guy made a fair mistake, then proceeded to gather the entire company around a monitor to watch the video of the poor guy getting arrested. I did hear something about a convict, but didn't hear that part. Sheesh. Yeah, I have to question if that's true. That would be insane. I would want to know the reason. The convict guy was nice as far as I remember, so it was his CTO. However, Marqueux thrived on a culture of toxicity and malice resonance towards Blizzard. When I spoke up about that being an unhealthy pattern of founding a culture, I was told off. Shrug. It was very weird and uncomfortable thing to hold. Both the position I wouldn't have gotten to California if he hasn't offered me a job, and this man has personally attacked the safety of 3 of my friends in the last month. He recruited a lot of people at Blizzard, Red 5, etc. It sounds like he was friendly outside of work, and when it came to management, he was terrible. No one is ever fully a hero, a demon. The illusion of black and white is at best left to fantasy novels. I cannot think of anyone who could possibly have done in the industry to justify weaponizing, hurting people, and targeting struggling developers. Yeah, is this more recent? I guess. Nope. This was quite after. Yes, he bragged about bringing someone into negotiating room. Blah blah. You were you there for the infamous WoW Classic petition he's going on about? I parted ways with Blizzard during the Mr. Pandarian expansion, but I can't remember if I was at Riot or not when the Classic petition went around. But I remember hearing about the dog and pony show. Okay, so this is the sort of thing that I sort of put out. You need to read, you need more on Kern, train, proceed to read a book, and piss when I ask questions, then ask me to write an ad where to inject into World of Warcraft. When I refuse, he kicked me to the curb. Stranded thousands of miles from my home. He was annoyed. I had many questions. I was an employee. He's broke. Okay. A lot of people are questioning this. And I'm really wondering why they're questioning if this is possible. Okay, they're just assuming it's not possible. Oh, and of course they deflect. He's got fired by both a couple of people, Blizzard, Kern, and now Melior from Moon Studios. Okay, so yeah, that's that. This is this. You tell me what you want, I'll tell you what you get. What was the book? He was a big believer in project management books. Don't remember, but I don't even remember him looking at one for guidance. Okay, there's something here. That's a wait and see. Community notes to disprove, verify source because that's respectful. I can verify his verification. Here you go. Can't believe it. Not anyone's disbelieving him, but that is a weird thing. We live in a world where reasonable and trust and verified. I hope more people come to realize this. Yes, I really do hope more people come to realize you can't just listen to the word. I'm not just going to take his word. I'm willing to put it out there. But that's besides the point. I think he was so. Here's what everyone's questioning. How was the adware even going to work? I think what he was expecting was that I would use the Cosmo Patcher to add a mod into World of Warcraft that added a feature, but also caused the Red 5 logo to appear in the game. I refused to use the Cosmo team stuff and stepped down as Cosmo lead. I did continue writing the add-on because if he wanted to pay me to write the fun add-on in exchange for branding, I had no issue with that. I was a broke college student. Okay, that's the whole sort of thing with that there. So let me not bounce too much far from there. There's plenty of things, a little thread that I put together just to sort of highlight some of the reasons why I really don't think Grums is the most reliable narrator and should be trusted very well. So we got this. This was pretty much in response to Nick's thread on Twitter on him. And also, I'm pretty sure it had something to do with Asmongold covering it on his stream. Ember 8 was attacked by ex-Kotaku. That is a lie. He's not an ex-Kotaku journalist. It's not multiple ones. And then he goes on to, it was a malicious attack by writers with agenda to stop the fight against DEI and defend AAA games, which I've been very vocal. So deflection. He can say this is a lie and maybe this is fake, but you know what? If that's true, that's a lie. So take everything with a grain of salt. 2 tweets that I saw that seemed in conflict with each other. So I left Blizzard on good terms to do other things. CEO and founder called me back. offered sabbatical and other things had me stay. I said no. I'm exhausted from WoW. Started Red 5, sold it to a Chinese company. Company removed me as CEO because they wanted to make WoW with guns, blah, blah, blah. When I quit, offered me 1 million to come back. I said no. Shortly after, hit piece arrived. What hit piece? Please do tell us, okay? Is this your sort of a cope here? What hit piece? March. Yeah. They got at my game, changed the story. Are you talking about Nick? Or, oh, okay, there's a whole bunch of other hit pieces talking about him gooning. How it's weird, the Cellar Blade campaign, I think. But here, back in the past, I've seen firsthand the corruption of Chinese game companies, and I was removed from a company I founded. A company that you sold to a Chinese company. After Blizzard for refusing to take a $2 million kickback bribe to take an investment from China. This is the first time I've ever spoken publicly about this. So it doesn't necessarily why if you got paid so much by company would you take a kickback? I mean, these two things aren't mutually exclusive. Yeah, and here's this claim. Other claim, I went over it. This plan won't work, blah, blah, blah. He's definitely trying to take credit for bringing WoW Classic back by putting his petition, which if Stellar Blade gets uncensored somehow, he would try to take credit for that with his petition. Good to know he's making use of his cognitive science and law degree. Gotta love lawyering. And yeah, he definitely has the way with words that make me think. Reminds me a bit of a con man with how he does certain things, a whole bunch of other stuff. But yeah, this woman is going off her rocker. She's really fucking angry. So I don't want to have to go this route, but I'm prepared. You will not bully me off the internet, and you will not platform people who are stalking my family. There's a person in this. See, take this with a grain of salt. There's a person in this thread impersonating my sister, likely the same person who made the website about her and been emailing her from it. You committing this, then laughing about it and sharing the comment in your videos makes people think it's okay. That's a believable stance. DMs your wife after you've been harassing me for weeks is not remotely comparable to that. If you only DM'd his wife once, yeah, and it's only one person you DM'd, there could be other things she did. And if you're watching this in the future and you saying, oh, look at the article she did on that farm folks guy, that was a shit show all around. Yes, she probably slightly nudged it in her fucking favor, but the other side did even more fucking unethical things than her just by en masse the amount that's going there. I think she's the lesser of evils in that particular case, but I could be wrong. There could be something I could be missing. Covered it seems rather sus to me. I already said this is what they want. They want you to target them with a lawsuit so they can claim victimhood status and probably do a GoFundMe. Okay, so be careful here. Smash JT. Well. Driving down what presumably is a one-way streak, you should have checked the signs. I do not condone the action. Legal check of anyone doing this to get back at her. But goddamn, it's funny to as AF to witness her short circuit and real-time contradiction. Where's her contradiction? This is fucking brain dead logic. So it's only okay when Allison does it. If anyone else does it, it's harassment. This is a completely different level. Why are you trying to fucking compare these two things? Are you literally brain dead, retarded, or autistic here? Seriously. How can you compare DMing one guy's wife? Definitely crossed an ethical line, and not quite sure how to compensate with that. Yes.
When you have some time, can you help me?
Madness is going all around the thing. It's just quite an interesting thing. I mean, I don't see this woman, so maybe this is a lie. Maybe it got deleted and hide. Don't fucking know if she's just talking out of her ass, but I have to say, if true, it's hard to say. I like evidence. There's a person in this thread impersonating my sister. I would like a screenshot. Everyone wants her to sort of mark this shit out, and I agree with that overall. And I think it would be dumb and go with their thing. Although I think this guy's again autistic man, so maybe I shouldn't name call him. How seriously dumb all this shit is. I just Yeah, I have to agree. What's wrong with you people? And I don't want to defend this woman. Her fucking ideas are rather bad, in my opinion. But maybe she's just memeing it up or something else. Really hard to tell how that goes. Okay. And why is this going here? Don't know. So, how do we get back from here? So, yes. Let's go along with this and just go along with it. Let's just get into one thing I wanted to get out of the fucking way. Okay, then we'll probably get back into something else. So we got that, and that, covering all my bases, burning away the midnight aura. Yeah, hola, get some sleep, everyone. Getting this down on the record. Most people won't care about this, but fucking hell, why? Why do? Why are you people being such fucking moronic people? Totally lacking of any fucking ethics that I have to fucking say you're being fucking obsessive ass weirdos to this woman. Why not go after someone with legitimate power? You getting your kicks off of someone who's fading from relevance. I can't help but think this is just pathetic ass is shit. Okay. I cannot really figure out the logic of all of this overall. If someone wants to explain the logic of why turn this woman into it, yeah, she's cringe. She's getting out there, she's speaking out. You have to shut her up, okay, on social media. Who knows how long she'll last as a writer? Who knows how long with this sort of thing she'll last mentally? It feels like some serious ass gaslighting overall. I don't see how you can ethically go on with this campaign unless you have the brain rot that all leftists are evil scum who have to be destroyed. And that sort of shit is that othering is fucking brain dead insane. Yes, there's a lot of bad ideas out there on the leftist side, but there's a lot of bad ideas on the rightoid side. And yes, the left does have power right now within the institutions. And if you think she's having any influence on it, I would like to see it. She's just a little paid little higher, but you're making her like she's the super boss to really finish these things off. So let's kick this off and go with the beautiful bean footage that is Smash JT's whatever this thing is. Making sure I got the right thing. Not that. So yeah. Before let's dive into his version of Unhinged of Camera Girl defends Allison. Now, am I going to be unhinged YouTuber defends her? Because I don't want to fucking do any of this shit here. And you're just so fucking out there. I can't help it. So let's get.
There's nothing that can ever be done or rationalized with these people when this comes up. That's why.
Yeah, she has the same exact attitude as you fuckwads, okay? Double standards much? Okay, I can't agree with her. I can't agree with you. You're all fucking mad people out there. You have a chance to talk, okay? Maybe not with them. But what the fuck is this dog piling going on with this weird, this weird girl? I'm not gonna call her an end, but she's rather out there overall and has the same attitude I see going on in GOONerGate.
I think we do have to start being militant about, like, pushing them out of our spaces.
Yeah, same brain dead philosophy that a lot of people are reflecting after that Grums tweet recently that I went over last stream. Okay, that really brief stream. Okay.
And that's a threat.
Someone shared a video with me today, and I just couldn't help but watch it and have to make a video on it because it is so hysterical.
Yes, he can't control himself. He just literally can't control any of his own actions. As I seriously went over a few of his videos and a few videos going over him. I almost feel bad. I think he's autistic or maybe just brain dead retarded. I don't know. But the logic that goes through his head, it's slightly better than that of the Trent report, but fucking hell.
Convoluted, ridiculous contradictions that are rampant throughout in this live stream. I can't with it.
Okay, what's with the contradiction? Well, I know the contradictions. Starting off with a good faith discussion. They're not here for good faith and harassment. But let's see what this man really if it's even so bare basic how he looks into it.
There is someone by the name of Emmy Speens on Twitter, and I've seen her every once in a while. I actually had her blocked because of some of the stuff she was saying at me and how she was defending journalists, the activist under the guise of journalism at Kotaku, former sex worker Alyssa Mercante, and she wasn't a big fan of how I talked about her and presenting my arguments and information about her. And ironically, Emmy Speens herself is a sex worker who doesn't like being introduced as a sex worker, even though that's literally what her profile is and everything she's about and everything.
Yeah. Yeah. Why focus on that? Seriously, why focus on that? Why are you focusing on the sex worker? Yeah. Again, great reason to call you guys GOONerGate. You're very focused on this whole sex stuff, okay? What garbage ideas does she have? Or you just, you got to get the little insults in to, because everyone loves to hate. The hate clicks, the people who want to see the hate towards them, the people who sort of sees the hate towards them and be like, downvote, this guy's racist, bigoted, and all the other phobes and trans. Yes, lame ass shit, but yeah, are you baiting them on purpose? Or are you really this dumb? You think this is the way to sort of talk to people?
She talks about.
I mean, she has a whole shitload, especially with how fucked up her little videos on that could have edited a lot of that shit out.
She gets upset because people are introducing that information about her, even though it's about her. And that's not even entering this rabbit hole of ridiculousness.
Have you been asking yourself how you get a job at a top?
And people will ask, why not ad blocker? Because I believe in capitalism. I believe in the economy. So if they get a little bit out of me, I'm not going to cheat them out of that.
And why Kotaku is not a problem. Why they are the victim here. And why people like me are ruining the game industry.
That's a goddamn lie. Smash JT is lying. She's saying she knows nothing about Kotaku. She has a parasocial relationship with these people, which is a problem on its own. And yeah, you in particularly focusing on the sex worker, which, well, she might have a point there. She might even have a point about the harassment. Depends on how you define harassment, of course. Okay. I think it's coming to this point where a lawsuit could go through. I don't think it's the smartest thing tactically for Allison to do or anyone to do, but shit, what do I know?
Industry. To the point that they need to start pushing me out of it so that they can take it over.
No, you don't deserve to be in our gamer space. You don't deserve to be protected if this is what you're doing.
And that's just the beginning.
Yeah. That's why I have a nice little comment saying I can't agree with either side here, because sometimes the solution is to say both sides are fucking assholes. These people are at least hiding their power level better than her. A girl like her going really mask off, like pretending to be nice and wanting to have a good faith discussion is just gonna make your own arguments be used against you. You're just playing into them. You're playing into dumbass like Smash JT's hands here.
It gets far worse and far more contradictory. Let's talk about who this sex worker really is. According to her Twitter profile, Emmy Speens is a video games, horror, itty titties, YouTube, 18 plus, and she has a link to her link tree that has YouTube, OnlyFans, Not Safe for Work, Twitch, Cam With Me, Instagram, Cash App, Fansly, Letterboxd, Twitch, Twitter app, TikTok, Instagram backup. This girl has it all. If you got the money, she's got the time for you. And you know what? There's absolutely nothing wrong with that. If that's how she's making her living, more power to her. And I know she's going to try to twist this like they always do, but this is just calling it like I see it. And how this live stream that she has devolves into what it was is actually pretty impressive.
Would you prefer to not know? Would you?
Okay, finally, he goes on his whole little spiel. Like, I'm going to point out all these facts about you that people on my side are totally going to use to fucking make fun of you and maybe harass you, maybe just insult you. Who knows what they're going to do with all this stuff? And finally get into her badass ideas. Okay.
You prefer to take the chance of not knowing? I would prefer a private DM if someone in my life that I loved was acting unhinged like this man is.
I couldn't pull myself away from it. I was so interested as to what she was going to say next, how she was going to make more of a fool of herself than she already.
What's with this fucking fluff? Do you not have a way to push back against it? This is what you think the audience wants? Seriously.
Did in the previous comment that she makes on her live stream. It was actually, like I said, very impressive.
He brings up the fact that she's a former sex worker at every turn. That is pointed violent language. Oh, he's just stating facts. How can it be violent? Shut the fuck up. You know why he's bringing it up.
Yeah, this is a dumb point. Okay. She invents a whole new phobia or I forget. Sex work phobia, sex worker phobia. You can't just invent new words. It doesn't work like that, okay? No one has a fear of sex workers, especially not skinny ass sex workers like you.
You know why he's bringing it up. To discredit her, to dehumanize her. It happened to me within 4 fucking tweets interacting with this audience.
And while she does go on a ramble for a while, it does peak when she starts to contradict herself about how she perceives things. It's all about perception with this type of person. She goes into a very long diatribe talking about why it was so horrific that I had a retweet of a thumbnail of a picture that says execution. And she extrapolates quite a bit out of that, I mean, honestly, fairly innocuous to me on first glance, second glance, and hell, still to this day. It really apparently frustrated and affected Alyssa Mercante. She did not like this person.
Yeah. She overreacted. And you're a fucking dumbass for not doing your research. But that's sort of a history with you. Being a mouthpiece who just reflects what what other people who actually do research. I mean, and the fact that his little dog shit articles are better than Trent's overall. Trent just puts out facts with some misleading thing. he's a little bit Smash JT's a little bit smarter than that, at least.
That posted it. Nobody on YouTube that I've never heard of before, a very small audience. Apparently, me amplifying that was a big deal, so I took it down. And this woman just goes absolutely bonkers about that situation.
This is Alyssa, once again talking about I found your wife's Facebook, which is really not that hard to do, and asked what she thinks about the husband of her children harassing women online and laughing when they share that someone they're supporting has been threatening to kill them for weeks. Someone made a game
God.
about literally murdering.
I actually went through this whole fucking video. It was painful, literally pain-inducing, trying to figure out her fucking. And she kept looping and kept doing little stupid stuff. I would not recommend it. Okay, I tried to good faith it. I couldn't in the end. The best I could say is, yeah, you sort of got a point about the harassment, but the rest of the stuff, what? Where are you going with the shit? You're just gonna give these GOONerGaters more ammo.
Her.
And look, they've been milking her.
And that's someone that he's chummy with. On top of everything else that they've been doing for months. If you don't know what they've been doing for months, please just go to her profile,
even if it's painful,
and scroll through any of the replies. You can go back months, it doesn't matter. They're all gonna be vile.
And as long as she's consistent in her feelings, I guess I could kind of understand where she was trying to come from, because she just consistently, constantly, forever offended by everything. Okay, at least.
Oh, he's being so gracious. He's trying to understand her so much. Where's the turn? Where's the joke?
You are consistent with your feelings. But no, she goes right into on the next topic, talking about how it's perfectly fine for that developer dude to have that tweet about stringing up the friends and family members of any content creators that talk about the situation in a negative light, or may peel back the onion and show people exactly what's going on underneath the skin of the situation. If anyone does that, no, that's perfectly fine if you want to string those people up.
Matter, they're all gonna be vile. Like, and I really mean that. I have full confidence you could do that. This is absolutely the play someone responds. We should be doing this with all weird creeps. I agree. Track down their significant others and mothers and string them up. Everyone and they're fucking losing it over this. Like, he actually was threatening to string people up in a violent rage. Like, can we just be honest? Like, am I just stupid?
It was incoherent babbling, and it came across, honestly, and this might sound.
No. You're cutting this way before. Is he going to get to it? Okay, maybe I should give him a chance. Okay, give the Smash guy a
bad
chance.
To say, but I don't mean it to be offensive. Someone who is just used to guys saying "yes, my queen" over and over and over to her, to the point where it went to her head that no one ever gave her a reality check. And that actually made her dumber for it. There was no kind of checkpoints in her life to be like, if I'm saying this, does it make logical sense? People aren't calling me out on it, so it must ergo be right. And then she would double down and triple down on her sentiments because of that. And I feel bad in a way, because no one's ever told her anything different. It's almost like being surrounded by yes men, putting you into a place where you feel like everything you say.
Okay, what's with this cope? I mean, you could have something here. Complete asspull bullshit here. Some sort of theory here. Okay, you gonna actually get to what she actually said next? Come on.
Is right.
No,
and by doing that and exposing yourself.
Don't be totally unethical here, and at least report what she clearly says, or I'm gonna have to put it
on the internet.
I'm gonna have to go to her video. You're gonna cause me pain to correct your unethical actions, Smash JT. Okay?
Look like a complete jackass.
This is the shit that they have to deal with every day.
Really? He's just gonna skip it? Maybe he'll come back to it. Okay, maybe he has some sense of honesty or ethics here. We'll see. Okay, not just dunking on some dumb. I wouldn't even call her a leftist. Trickle down effect of the leftist mind virus that is out there, I think, is the appropriate way to put it out there. But he might be a byproduct of the same thing that creates rightoids. Okay, don't know there. Don't know either case.
There's a whole cottage industry of making fake news fucking articles out of opinion pieces that could have been an email.
Oh God.
You know, this is crazy.
It's impressive to me that Emmy finds a way to call me unhinged for being upset that someone who is employed at Kotaku, someone who goes by the guy,
is being dishonest and unethical, unhinged. I'm curious. Okay. Well, as I said, I'll hear him out. Maybe he will slip in some of the stuff he's left out.
Eyes of a journalist contacted my wife unprovoked, searched out her information, her name, her Facebook, and tried to ruin.
Oh, did that just really trigger you? You were such a victim. What consequences did you start? Did your wife actually start asking you things? Okay. I can't even find the actual what she says. Today he shared today he shared a post from a man who's been threatening to execute me, or is this a tweet? Is this what he said to the wife? I don't even know. A man who's photoshopped. Yeah, that guy is unhinged, okay? You were a dumbass for reposting it. You have no you have no ethics of journalism. She barely has them also, okay? She definitely bends them to a extreme degree. I'll give the people talking about him that.
My relationship because she was upset that I had an issue with how Kotaku was handling their. Tried to ruin my relationship because she was upset that I had an issue with how Kotaku was handling their professional journalism and why.
No, you literally were trying to call for the end of Kotaku. Just admit it to yourself. You wanted her out of a job, okay? You think you have the moral right. You think you're ethically and morally in the right to get someone fired from a job, to shut down a company. I'll admit Kotaku's trash, okay? It's not something I read, focus on. Combating such a stupid, dwindling, failing little ragtag yellow journalistic thing just doesn't seem like a great productive use of time, okay? That's just all I'm saying here.
I would like to see that changed for the betterment of the video game industry. And because of that, Alyssa couldn't handle it. And she
couldn't handle it. You really care that much about video games. Again, Emmy, for all her thoughts, she brings up a good point. When the fuck do you talk about video games, okay? You're just another one of these people who like to, try to get the clicks. And you know what? You got this. It got you subs. You're celebrating. But I am sorry if it has. I'm serious. You need to be serious for a moment. All the insults aside. I am sorry if Smash JT getting this message from Alyssa really hurt his relationship with his wife. If that's the case, that really sucks. And I will admit she crossed the line there. But you need to realize a lot of people coming after her is going to affect her. You literally are. It definitely seems like you're trying to drive her insane off the internet, as you say. Could use whatever word you want. Gaslight, harassment, whatever. You're trying to drive her out of her job, and just admit that, okay?
She had to go the extra mile for it. Now, to give full disclosure, people might say, oh, what caused her to do that? Why would she reach out to your wife just unprovoked? That's crazy. No one would do that. Well, one, yes, she is crazy. She's proven that multiple times. But two, she tried to blame it.
Again, even though that was fact-checked, that's a quote, which actually makes her more stupid, given her belief from Orson's Well Animal Farm. But people just keep on throwing the hate all men when anyone with any intelligence or any ethics would at least point out that the other part of the leg, or maybe they think that's her cope, okay? So they won't inject that additional context to be honest about it, okay? Or they're just too stupid to actually do any research and think for themselves. Can't tell. I'm not a mind reader.
On me doing a retweet of a screen cap of something where I retweeted like 20 things that day that all had the hashtag #Kotaku to help push my petition. One of those things was a thumbnail of a picture and it said execution, video game, VR, whatever.
Oh yes, just whatever. The squad execution. It's just in Minecraft, guys, okay? Don't mean anything. All those jokes about death threats to other people, they were just jokes. So you don't see the double standard here, okay? Just because people that you retweet hide their veiled threats much better. Yeah, sure.
I didn't look too far into it, didn't think anything of it. Alyssa lost her mind over that one particular thing because apparently she has a history, whatever that guy is. He's like a low nobody on the internet that I'd never heard of.
A cumulative effect. Are you that dumb not to know that one thing can break the camel's back? And you just happened to do that one thing. It was really stupid, and she really shouldn't have overreacted like that. I can admit that. But fucking hell, you're trying to make her seem like she's just crazy. And there's no reason for her not to be bothered by all the milking that's being done off of her. Frankly, I think she should meme it more. Okay. She should be like, damn, they turned me into a supervillain. Awesome. I'm the end boss for these fucking idiots. Okay. Fuck. How much power do I have? Maybe a little bit here and there of a few journalistic friends. They might be able to shoot something up the pipeline, but how much power does she really have? Seriously.
And she apparently had like weeks of issues with him. And when she reached out to me publicly on Twitter and told me that she had an issue with it, I took the retweet down. I was like, okay, whatever, like not a big deal. Then she started DMing me. Okay. And I was like, this is starting to get a little too intrusive and invasive. And I'm not going to respond to her because a person like this, nothing good can come from it. And because I didn't respond to her, even after I took the retweet down, she decided to, at that point, proactively hunt down, search my wife's information and contact her on Facebook. And now all these simps for Alyssa and people in her camp are bending over backwards, turning into pretzels, trying to justify her insane, unhinged behavior, her actions of doing this, the choice that she made, and has been justified by Kotaku as no actions have been taken against her since doing this. If anything, she's been protected by Kotaku. And if anything, that's empowered the entire gaming community to rise up and say, whoa, there's an issue here, and Kotaku is protecting their own.
Phobia, the sexism, the sex worker phobia, just like the all.
Yeah, that's tribalism, baby. Okay. You're on one side of the divide, she's on the other. I'm fucking stuck in the middle, trying to figure out who has the least amount of ethics. And I want to side with the people who are anti-DEI, anti-woke, and all that shit, because I think a lot of the progressive ideology that's been injected in the video game industry is rather cringe. But I also realize they're just video games. Do you think they're trying to brainwash children? I'm more concerned about the other stuff I shouldn't bring up here.
all around hidden agendas that he thinks he's being so slick with. What I hate more than anything is that I have to give.
See, I think I'm trying to be good faith. I just think he's being dumb, stupid, irresponsible, unethical in his attempt. They are the journalists. They are the ones who are supposed to be ethical. They have ethical standards. We don't have to do it. We're just a poor little consumers, okay? We don't have to do any sense of ethics. That's what I'm getting. I tried to talk to people about it. No one wants to talk about it. Okay, they don't want to have a discussion. Neither side wants to have a real discussion. At least the anti-DEI side will entertain ideas, but then they'll get triggered over small little things.
The fuck about him.
In a recently deleted post, and yes, I got screenshots because, of course, deleted, because that's what these people always do. They throw swords, and when they start getting tossed back, they scream, "Mama, help! They're talking about me, and they're being mean. It's harassment." When you throw accusations my way, expect a rebuttal. That's how this stuff works. And she said on Twitter, if the answer is that you dislike sex work and want your audience to know that the information they're about to receive is coming from a source you find untrustworthy because they do sex work, that's perfectly legitimate answer. I just want to know if that is what it is. She was determined to find a response as to why I would introduce Alyssa Mercante as a former sex worker, why I would introduce Emmy Speens as a sex worker. She's like, why are you saying what we do in our backgrounds? That has no bearing or justification in the video game world, in the landscape that we're in right now. So why you bring it up? And I'm like, all right, I'll give you your response. You're probably not going to like it, but here's why. Being a sex worker inherently implies that you lack morals. You may do anything for money. You are not a trustworthy person. Alongside this, it's often associated with women pretending to care about gaming just to create an audience of simps to grow their brand and extract money from them. If you need to be hit over the head with why it is important for me to disclose this information that you proactively promote, you may be even dumber than I gave you credit for initially. And I didn't.
No. Is he generally autistic again? Doesn't realize other people have worldviews. They'll have their own blind spots, like he has his blind spots. And yeah, you know about his history. He got the whole thing with Tipster. Figures he was friends with Tipster back in the day. Same sort of IQ level overall. Same sort of mentality. Willing to fucking milk women, despite how optically bad it'll come across. Okay, but he's got some criticism for that from someone who got criticism for that. So, the hypocritical thing, they cancel each other out. Doesn't he? FOMO, she probably was using sex appeal and gamers to get it. There was probably some things, but there's a tactful way to do it. And let me not even get into that fucking little dirty asshole there.
Didn't want to be that aggressive with her, but she kept coming at me with multiple posts asking why I keep bringing up that she's a sex worker, why I talk about Alyssa Mercante's past, even though Alyssa Mercante herself is the one that offered that information to everyone, almost as like a, I'm better than you, look what I can do and say whatever I want with no repercussions. Again, going to the mantra of what Kotaku does, protecting their own with no consequences. That's exactly what set off this entire End Kotaku thing in the first place. So again, while I have the chance to talk about this, the End Kotaku petition has crossed past 3,000 signatures already on change.org. If you haven't already, please check it out. Give it a
Oh yeah, he cares so much. I really cares so much about all this fun stuff. Okay. Gonna have to go to this. Not gonna pain you through this. Having to look at this woman for too long. Gonna also edit this down
I
because
really did.
mute. Let's see if I can find it easily enough. Smash JT. Talk it because she really does badly in this. And she makes herself look really bad. Okay. Let's see the string up part. Which I will agree. They just keep this narrative rolling. Keep acting like dumbasses. Even after it's clarified. It definitely doesn't seem ethical or honest or anything of any regards here. So, it's such a fucking long video. I'm just trying to find a small little part where he sort of cut it out. Maybe he missed it. Maybe he is fucking dumb as dirt. I miss it. Okay. Autistically, not trying to be bad faith. Just insert this in and I'll fucking hell. How did I fuck this up? Because this ain't really good for streamy. So instead of just wait and see, we will drop it and go on to his recent thing and see how he handled this. What sort of ethics, how he framed this thing here, the one that was prompted out there. So, Housing website hacked. It's not actually true. I can give them a pass for clickbait, but you know what? Still not great here. Okay, let's see what he has to say about this particular case. Aside from the
Alyssa
clickbait.
Mercante thing, it's just she loves the attention as much as she cries harassment. Deep down, she loves when people talk about her. So I guess I'm giving her her wish with this. What's going on, guys?
Oh, fuck. He starts off with a fucking very delusional ass take that really has no bearing on reality. Okay. Is that what you're hoping? You think she's just baiting people here? Maybe she is. Maybe I'm the fool for thinking she has any honesty and integrity in any sense. And instead of just an evil in-boss NPC villain at the end of a movie.
Welcome to another episode of Smash JT. And Alyssa Mercante is in the news once again for reasons why she wished she wasn't. Apparently, her sister's website has been hacked or taken over, or domain has been purchased and now used to harass her. And while I do not condone doing this to anybody for any reason at any time whatsoever, I can't help but look at the situation and laugh. Well, if it's not the consequences.
Yeah, sure, you're not condoning it. Okay. This is like speaking out of both sides of your mouth. You covering yourself. You think you're covering yourself legally, okay? You do, okay? And maybe this is enough to cover. Just say, I don't condone this stuff. It's not me. It's not related to me, okay? I can't be held accountable for just laughing at it. And he might be right, okay? But then again, a cumulative effect, okay? And let me not even get into those because that's really not something for a YouTube video. That's something for someplace that I don't think the shit should go.
My actions coming back to haunt me once again. I swear these people will never learn. Hit that subscribe, give me a like, and check out smashjt.com for the full article breaking down all the information that we have regarding Alyssa Mercante's sister's website domain being purchased and now used to, because we all know Alyssa, she might delete some of this stuff eventually, and she already started doing that already. Let's go through these. First off, I woke up this morning to this one. Shout out to Master of TDS for sharing this with me, because otherwise I wouldn't have seen it, because I'm blocked. Some chud paid for my sister's domain name and is emailing her and me for comment on, quote unquote, my actions. Anyway, tell me again how this isn't a harassment campaign comprised of obsessive losers with too much free time. Before I go on from this, it is fascinating to me.
Come on, answer the question, man. Shit. You can't answer a simple fucking question. You got to do a little side tangent, you know, try to justify your in the right on this. Love the psychology of some of these people, or probably more likely the rhetorical thing. This guy's been doing it for a while. He knows the game fairly well. Well, yeah, you see a lot of his videos seem to hit that magical 10-minute marker. These ones go on a little bit longer, but I'm sure he gets a lot more out of these videos comparison to the ones that bare minimum.
How she can't see her own actions creating the havoc in her life that she is now reaping what she sowed. The entire reason why this is happening is because she asked people to do this. And I don't want that to be buried.
She asked people to do this. Okay, he's twisting this shit in his own head and for his audience to justify this. It literally, is he retarded? Autistic to the extreme degree? No one fucking looking at this critically. Maybe he should have people check his videos. Fucking hell.
If anything, that's the lead of the story that she wants people to forget about, because the entire time she's been asking people to bring this on her just to cry mama as soon as something wrong happens. In fact, on the website right now,
no, hold on. Where did she ask for this to be called on her? You're missing a big point. Are you going to sort of highlight that or just assume your audience knows because of all your content? This is fucking badass video, ethical video making here. You make a claim, you back it up. You don't just go to another topic instead and forget about it.
It's even a link to that tweet saying, quick thing, doxing is not reaching out to someone's significant other and sending a polite message. Doxing is posting someone's home address. Thanks. Well, I guess it's not harassment if this person is creating a website and reaching out to your family members and sending.
Oh, you're using her standards against her. But these are not fucking comparable. Okay. This lunatic fucking is pretty much imitating her sister in line and messaging her sister. Okay. They said, if you're young, your parents. Probably even if you're old because of some of these man children. Or if you're married to the significant others. I don't agree with that, but this is not the same thing as going after the sister. How is this comparable? How can you twist this in your brain? Okay, she's correct. It's not doxing. You trying to get away with this fucking twisted ass logic? Nice fucking mental gymnastics. Okay, bravo. In fact, anyone can compensate in this head. Just makes me fear for humanity as a whole.
Sending a polite message asking how they feel about the actions that you've taken and reaching out and contacting my wife. It is beyond fascinating to witness this in real time. Someone who can't see their own hypocrisy right in front of their own face and crying harassment when it comes right back to them. Does she go cry in a mirror when she looks at it because that's the reality?
Harassment is a sustained, malicious attempt. And I think she has a case, motherfucker. Frankly, legally, yes, you want to, but you don't want. A lot of people of GOONerGate wants to deny actual definitions of words. I've seen it real time. I don't know if this guy's he's gonna sort of just move past the definition of words and use the enemy's logic. Art of war stuff, man. Bravo. But ethical? Fuck no.
That she's looking at, she can't take it, so she gets mad at what's reflecting back at her, because that's exactly what's transpiring right now. To be clear, yet again, I do not condone anyone harassing Alyssa Mercante or her family members, and
Oh, smart. I just sort of justified people doing this to her, so disclaimer. Beautiful stuff. You gotta love this sort of this makes me think he knows what he's doing. He knows what he's doing is legally can be legally pursued, but just because you put up a disclaimer, which I have very little faith in, okay, and I'm sure people on the other side have even less faith in it. Okay, so
I never have from day one. Even though she did that to me, I could have easily taken the approach of, hey, she's asking for it and she did it to me, so go get her, guys. I could have easily done that, but I do not agree with it. I do not believe in that, nor do I think it's fair for anyone to have that back in their face. But in the same breath, I gotta say, it's kind of how the internet works. If you don't know it already, you start throwing that stuff out there.
talking out of both sides of his mouth and assuming she knows how the YouTube game is played is assuming a lot, which makes me think about the autism. He's been in the game for a while. Again, friends with Tipster, been doing this for a while. You can look at some of his criticism. How? Maybe I'll highlight one real quick because the other one is rather garbage. Both of them are rather garbage, but I think at least one of them has a valid point.
Publicly, holding it over people like you're some sort of power-hungry monster that can't be touched. People are going to tear you down. That's how the internet works, and you are learning that right now. It's impressive to see.
Yeah, I actually agree. You got to have tough skin if you want to get out there and create content online. And she just can't hack it, okay? She doesn't have the mental fortitude to really go at it. But of course, none of these guys really have what it takes to actually legitimately deal with any of the criticism. They can just avoid it unless it's someone big enough to sort of affect them, okay?
Mercante's inability to recognize the repercussions of her behavior, proving just how disillusioned and mentally unhinged she really is. Now, you go through these Twitter replies under the master of the TDS who posted this on his Twitter profile, and they are having a field day, absolutely destroying her. I don't condone it. Third time now. I do not think...
How is he fucking justifying this in his head? I really legitimately think that maybe he has a shred of morals and even maybe a sense of ethics, and this is sort of conflicting. He has to turn this woman. Well, he's got one. She definitely has enough to sort of try to justify it, and maybe the benefit is counteracting, what little integrity he really does have. Or maybe I'm the one out of the loop. Maybe I'm underestimating how horrible and affecting the industry this one Kotaku writer is.
This is a good thing. But at the same time, I can look at it and see the comedy in it. I think it's funny as hell that this person can't recognize why it's happening to her. Nor did she take any accountability whatsoever, feel bad, have any kind of apology, say anything about it other than, I'm doing this to you because I am in the right and everyone else is wrong. Zero accountability from her and her parents.
And how are you much different? You're willing to apologize? Yeah, you apologized and took down that tweet. Okay. Fair enough. Fair enough. Maybe that's how you're compensating for this in your head. Okay. And she hasn't done anything. Okay. She's being the stubborn one. She's having the mob come after her. Kyle Rittenhouse could have just put down his gun and, been to the mob. They wouldn't have hurt him at all. They would have just accepted his surrender and took him to the police. Totally and utterly.
Parent company Kotaku, who employs her, that have not, at least publicly, said anything about any repercussions happening to her for reaching out to someone's wife. Let's be clear about that. And because of that, I would almost blame Kotaku for not reprimanding her, and now the internet is taking it on their own shoulders to take care of this for them. So here's the website. Someone has taken it upon themselves to purchase the domain name AlanaMercante.com and use it as a tool to both contact Alana and Alyssa Mercante. The person behind doing this is reportedly emailing the sisters seeking comments on Alyssa's actions, on if she felt like it was okay to contact my wife over what amounted to not even a big internet dispute, just a simple retweet that I unretweeted. And then after that, she DM'd me. And because I didn't respond to her, she reached out to my wife. That was the order of actions. And Alyssa took it way too far. Now, according to Alyssa, it's perfectly...
Yeah, I agree. Okay. She took it too far. Then she went off a little bit. She took her limit, and the limit was there. It was a really small thing, really stupid thing.
Okay with her rules to reach out and send a polite message to a loved one, which I would argue sounds like exactly what's happening right now. Someone purchased this domain name, created this website, and is now sending a polite message to you.
A polite message when you purchase the domain name, and I assume saying this domain name, your own name, imitation. Are you not getting the context here, or are you ignoring it? Again, it's very possible this guy is fucking autistic as all hell, or just brain damage. The internet fucking brain rot also could be the cause of this, not realizing how these two things are different, or just having too much fun with it, getting too involved. That is a possibility. Get on board with a whole mob and you forget about little things like, ethics or rationale.
You and your sister about why you felt the need to reach out to my wife. I don't know how else to say this except for that's kind of exactly what you did to me. It is. But no, Alyssa has to claim this is a harassment campaign driven by obsessive losers with too much free time. It's particularly striking because of the complete lack of any introspection whatsoever and her unwillingness to consider how her actions might have contributed even a little bit to the current situation that she's now facing. But she goes on Twitter and says, explain to me how paying for a domain name for one of my family members and then emailing her from that is even remotely comparable to a polite DM. And then she thought better about it because she probably maybe realized about how dense she was that she deleted it because she's like, oh, wait, I guess it is exactly the same thing. Let me delete that post. And then she goes on to say, I replied to someone suggesting that any harassment I've received is deserved and then deleted it because so many people are right. They are not worth the energy. But here's the thing with the website. I guess you could claim harassment from it, but if that's the case, you could literally claim harassment from anything. She's already tried to claim that I'm harassing.
No. Harassment has a very clear definition. Okay, shall I read it for you? I mean, it's very demeaning to actually have to look up the definition of harassment. Okay, there's a simple one: aggressive pressure or intimidation. I don't like that one. Okay, there is legal. I think that one's a little bit too weak. Okay, harassment is illegal when it's severe enough to create a hostile or intimidating work environment. I think this actually counts as that. Okay, or when it results in an adverse employment decision, like possibly getting fired. It can also be illegal if it's required to continue employment. Harassment can take the form of words, actions, gestures, demands, or visual display. And I think he has a lot of this under her belt, at least legally, but they would have to take it to court. And that's something I think everyone wants to avoid. Well, everyone who doesn't want to actually get into a legal battle, but
her by covering these stories on my channel, which I would be insane not to talk about it because this is like the best thing that's ever happened to my channel. Full disclosure, talking about how she contacted my wife.
Yep, exactly. He's milking it because this is how YouTube go. Victim clout. He's getting the victim clout, and from what I see, none of the repercussions. Okay, usually victim clout has their channel taken down, or they lose monetizations, or they get a whole bunch of people coming after him. He has the one deranged defender of Alyssa earlier, but if that counts, Alyssa herself, maybe some comments from some Alyssa's fans chiming in, directing. I see him constantly retweeting probably one of Alyssa's biggest supporters, some burly dude who's definitely making a few threats out there that I cannot ethically get behind. Okay,
unprovoked, completely out of the blue, unnecessary, stepping way out of bounds to do that, and then justifying it through Kotaku.
And they just keep on harping on their reason. How long is he going to milk this? How many more months until she fucking quits or anything? He's going to justify all his actions with this until she does something else stupid that they can jump on. Okay, just like how long did they milk the fucking that one Sweet Baby Inc. employee trying to get Brutus's account banned and his Steam account banned? How long did they milk it? How long did they use it as something? You didn't bring that up talking about Kotaku. They defended Sweet Baby Inc. The lines of logic, frankly, is like one of those conspiracy board. Okay, not that far off. Like 2 to 3 degrees of separation, but so petty, using all this supposedly. And what happened to Brutus? What harassment did he face? Did he have a big mob? No, he fucking has a following now. He was a no one before then. Now he fucking has at least 20,000. He has just so much support, so much loving. And yeah, that's the same thing that happened in the original GamerGate. But this is not the original GamerGate. That much is clear. This is GOONerGate. Let the goons take over, and that's what you're going to get.
And here's the thing, that's a problem. And I am recognizing that that's a problem. And that's really all I'm doing with my videos. And the message that I have for it is Kotaku should have done something about this. They should have reprimanded her, written her up, made it public, responded to me on Twitter saying, we're sorry that that happened. That's unforgivable. That's really terrible. We shouldn't ever have any of our employees ever doing that to anyone out there. We are sorry to you, Smash JT, and we will handle this internally. Thank you. That would have been a pretty good way to handle it if I was Kotaku, professionally.
Professionally? Yeah, because you're a very professional guy, okay? You're and she could just very likely saying, yeah, you're coming at her directly, you're coming at her personally. I think when you started talking about her sex work, you crossed the line from professional to personal. Okay, that's probably how they see it. Oh, they probably see it much worse. They probably agree with her stance that all of you people are harassment campaign, and I can see their point of view with that. Again, I don't necessarily agree, but I might have been on the internet too long myself, sympathetic to some of his arguments here and there, know how the game's played, but how shit's played on the internet isn't how normal people who don't get lost in YouTube content creation think about the world, and especially not how leftists think about the world. Fundamentally flawed, and I want to say they're just fucking just dumbasses. But yeah, there is a sense of maliciousness within them that you always have to say, should I go harder or should I, treat them like they're actual human instead of the enemy? I would like to go for the stupid human approach who can be conversated with, but maybe I'm just naive.
Well, we all know Kotaku is the furthest thing from professional. If anything, they're very one-sided in their storytelling and protecting their own. And this is exhibit A of that. And the internet ain't having it. The internet justice is swift, and it is coming through very strong against Alyssa right now.
Yes, the court of public opinion. We love the court of public opinion in cancel culture. This is what this is. Straight up. You don't apologize? Hell, what did we learn from people who actually apologize in cancel culture? With cancel culture, accountability culture is what they're backing up to. Did Apologia help those people who apologize? Generally, that made things worse for them, but you are the moral side. You, of course, would have just let up on her if, she just apologized. Show no weakness, okay? You apologize, so yeah. Of course she should have apologized, okay? And if I sound sarcastic, sorry. Yeah, she probably should have said at least sorry, but I still feel this fucking way about you and a lot of these other YouTubers coming at me all the time. She could have said that. She definitely could have, but ethics. What? Why are people just abandoning them just because they feel like the other side aren't using them?
Under Alyssa Mercante, it says, restoring ethics in gaming journalism. Under featured articles, it says, fact checks and other articles coming soon. In my opinion, here's what I think the reality is. It's not harassment, and Alyssa knows it's not harassment. In reality, this website could actually be a major breaking point in exposing her lies, her narrative that's forcing an agenda from the propaganda of being an activist instead of...
Well, they couldn't be on Twitter, at least not under Elon, who definitely is against impersonation accounts. That's a clear Twitter violation. Okay, maybe rules and normative ethics, normative rules that don't apply. She's broken a sacred internet rule, so she's fair game now, guys. Yeah, makes so much logic. Totally ethical? No, still.
A journalist. And if this website does hold true to the fact of fact-checking her, this could be her downfall. And she is very afraid of that. If I were to put myself in her shoes, and holy crap, I need to take some meds just by thinking that. And trust me, being someone on YouTube, it's not uncommon for me to understand that being in the public eye puts a target on your back. It just does. And I've said this multiple times, which is why you have to be extremely careful with how you toe this line and how you talk about this stuff, because the internet is not something.
Yes, I understand this. You understand this. Yeah, Alyssa should understand this, but She clearly doesn't. She's clearly taking this to a personal place, okay? And I think that's fucking because she doesn't know the rules of engagement of the internet. She's not a YouTuber. She does not make YouTube content, okay? She goes outside, touches grass. You look at her Twitter account. She's a sports fan, okay? And again, why I think this guy is either just terminally online or fucking autistic as all hell. Not that those are mutually exclusive. He could be both, okay?
Thing you mess with. Ever. You don't throw a dare out to 4chan and say, go ahead, contact my family. I don't care. It doesn't matter to me. It's just a polite message, because this is the exact...
Are you 4chan? Are you saying you operate by the 4chan? Oh, wait, you don't condone this, okay? She hired 4chan, in your opinion. Another one of your justifications for be able to laugh at her at this. Fair enough, fair enough. Still unethical, but
retribution that happens when you do that. And then you cry harassment to get more attention. And here it is, the attention that you're so desperately seeking, I am giving to you. But somehow this will be twisted and maligned into...
Okay, you have to know that's bullshit. You really can't have done the mental gymnastics to think that she legitimately wants you to give her attention. Okay, she wants this fucking stupid thing to stop. Okay, maybe I'm wrong. Maybe she does want the attention. You know, I'm not someone who, assume everyone's just being dishonest and talking out both sides of their mouth. I try to avoid it. Unless it's for comedy's sake, you sometimes make a poor joke or go a little bit too far in some of your what you say out of your mouth, and you have to be like, okay, it was a little extreme. I still meant it, but it came off more extreme than I meant it to, because I was trying to be funny about it, or I was heated in the moment. But God,
he's harassing me even more because he's talking about a situation that's happening right now. And you know what? I can't do anything about that, except here it is, learn to deal with it. And like I said, Kotaku has yet to publicly state any reprimanding for her actions. And in some cases, I've even seen one of her superiors...
Remember, keep repeating something. You repeat it enough, you repeat something enough, either the lie or truth, and people will believe you. It's just basic human psychology, especially if you're already biased against a certain subject and bought into a certain subject, okay? Little human quirk, it's called illusionary truth effect, okay? It works with lies and with just the truth. It's just the truth, okay? Not that the truth is that simple, okay? But with a outright lie, or in this case, probably his own little headcanon about what he thinks Alyssa wants. When he's not a mind reader, he definitely doesn't share her ideology, so he cannot figure out what he's thinking. Not even I can completely. Being on the line between these two insane factors is a little hard to try to get in their head. And I can't even say I do it. I do it hypothetically, but it's like a little bit of psychology, a little bit of acting. Yeah, it can do wonders for your ability to try to visualize putting yourself in other people's shoes. And it seems like he tried to do that, but
I believe, at least Carolyn Petit, another editor at Kotaku, defending her online. And it may have swung the internet into taking a response on for them. And it unfortunately happens in a public space when an employer refuses to acknowledge or act appropriately to correct an employee's issue. And with that being said, let me take this moment once more to talk about my End Kotaku petition and why I feel like this is a...
Yeah. Totally apologize to the guy who's trying to end your company, okay? Who's very explicit about it. And definitely don't exactly tell the truth when it's inconvenient to their certain narrative here. So I eventually found this particular thing here. So let's put it on. I'll edit this down later together because this is going to be too long and too annoying overall. Hola. Going over this. This is just a little fact check thing. Thought I would get this out. It'll be out there, but I will be editing it down. Let's see.
Response. We should be doing this with all weird creeps. I agree. Track down their significant others and mothers and string them up. Everyone and they're fucking losing it over this. Like, he actually was threatening to string people up in a violent...
Give me a minute, okay?
Can we just be honest? Like, are you guys... Am I just stupid? Am I really off base in thinking if you read that any other way than track down the weird creeps, significant others and mothers, and string the weird creeps up metaphorically? Am I crazy for thinking that that's where your mind immediately goes? Like, yeah, this is a weird punctuation thing. It's very common on the internet. I've heard people say string them up about cancellations all the time.
I don't, but assuming she's lying, okay. She's definitely talking about the weird creeps, okay. He's trying to say the weird creeps, not the parents or significant other. That much is obvious to me, but you know, they have a narrative that works, so okay. Yeah, okay.
Like, string them on the line. Am I
this is
crazy to
some
think that that's not
real-
threatening?
Yeah, you are
Because
crazy.
people are really adamant that
You are crazy, but it's definitely severely punished. Okay, you definitely want to. It's almost like canceling. He's telling cancel them. Okay, this is what he's trying to apply with this, and I understand why people got pissed when he got his response clarification. I think it's unethical for them to actually not provide that, but maybe I'm in the wrong there.
this is like
Okay.
where the line was.
I got enough for whatever I want
He
to
even apologized. He was
record,
like, yeah, it's
so
poorly
I
worded.
will take
Is it?
guess.
I don't think so. I know exactly
I'll
what he
throw
means.
one to
Shit, I'm so
both you.
sorry. I'm sorry, I'm
If
not
you wanna
educating
come
you guys
in.
on Twitter.
You don't have
Am
to.
I
And
wrong?
this is
I don't know. I
all
don't think.
fucking
I honestly, I
cringe
think you're,
on
I
top
think
of
you're kind
cringe.
of reading this in a bad faith
Okay.
way. If you are looking for something, you could find it. But I
Oh, the way she uses
no, I
good
see this
faith
around the
and
internet all
bad
the time.
faith
People
is
in the replies are like,
fucking
"No, this is a
insane.
threat. This is clearly a threat." No, if I was
I might as well
working there,
start
I'd
team
been
on.
for a
You
couple
don't have
days.
to come on, either one of you, but there's the links for you two. Okay. Through via Discord. He is dumb as a box of rocks, and what she says at the end is fucking insane. Okay, she does this fucking double speak all
Here,
around town,
motherfuckers.
and that's a rather quick jump in. I just wanted to catch this because I went through JT Smash's video.
Anyway,
Is there
how are
any
you?
that you think are significant? Yes, I am doing well. Just trying to get a little bit of recording in and making it a live
so what's the
stream
current
for.
situation about? About these people
Oh,
being
I was
crazy?
just going to, yeah, both sides going crazy.
I
I'm gonna
wouldn't say
do legitimate.
our side is still crazy, even though you're the one here kind of being a little bit provocateur with your titling of the stream.
No. Oh, just because I don't think people like Smash JT has any sense of ethics, so they should have another name for him. I gave him a name, guys. GOONerGate. Okay, you
My,
guys
my
can
man,
GOONerGate.
my man,
Okay,
your
let
tweet
me.
where
Great
you
name.
did the hashtag, can I, Tom, give me a second. Your
It's
hashtag,
great. Though.
and I mentioned that in my tweet when I responded to you. Your hashtag
Yeah,
to
but I
which
was
you
going on stream.
basically, no. I mean, like the hashtag that you specifically went and said GOONerGate this, GOONerGate that today. Let me remember which
Yeah.
one it was because I got some likes.
Oh no. Huh? GOONerGate. I like the name. Okay. Yeah,
So,
I've been playing with this.
So you're
So
basically.
yeah. The hashtag you were doing it, hashtag GOONerGate, it was
Yeah.
a response to and Kotaku, and that was a response to Grounds basically saying Kotaku are being disingenuous fucking journalists.
And I
that
trust
was
Grum so much.
And that was a subtweet to a tweet talking about how basically one crazy ass feminist Twitch streamer is being retarded.
Okay.
Well, to be fair, this one is
Like the very initial tweet to which Grums was responding to was by Kang Min Lee, who was talking about a
Well,
crazy
I
thing about the
don't
streamer. Then
care.
Grums
Okay,
said
sorry.
that
I
was
just don't
crazy.
care. I
Then
just
you
don't care where it's to. Okay, I just don't care anymore. Okay.
So here,
I just
then
don't
why the
care.
fuck did you again? You kind of backfired because people were talking about the crazy streamer doing crazy stuff, and you were just like, okay, instead of and Kotaku, I'm going to call you GOONerGate and being tone deaf.
Yeah, I'm tone deaf. No, it's a perfect name for the people under the
I mean,
stellar
you
blade
did
who are
react.
being.
Excuse me. Just because people want
They don't need
sexy
context
video
for why
game
she
characters
died.
doesn't
Okay.
mean that you here need to be name calling the movement whatever you want to. Again,
Oh,
we
they're
just
fine with
want to
name
back
calling, so double standards. Okay.
Yeah. What name calling? Us calling a crazy ass streamer a crazy ass streamer? or what? Huh? What was the name calling in
Huh?
that subtweet that
Yeah.
you tweeted with
The bad
GoonerGate?
faith efforts that they're making all around. No good, genuine responses, just sort of memeing shit
Okay,
off.
okay,
Okay. I
okay,
give
okay.
people a
Let's
chance to
let's
come on.
go.
Yeah.
Okay, let's do then a small thing. I'm already opening Twitter. Open this link. This is your original tweet. Just open it.
Oh, we are not going to put me under investigation here.
We're
Sorry.
not here, but like we're going
Work
to
it
look
that
at what
way.
do you
Okay.
responded to. Click through the
No,
tweets.
we're not going to look at
If you're
what
not
I
going,
responded to. Okay. We can talk
excuse me.
about
If you're going,
something else. We can
if
argue
you, if
over.
you,
Okay.
yeah,
No,
yeah, but
I'm
like if
not
you're
going to be
going,
put on trial on my own
this is
stream.
not
Okay.
this is not putting you on a trial. This is you being tone deaf, and I'm asking you to look at the
I
tweets
don't care
that you
about being
tweeted
tone
to.
deaf at this case. Okay. Smash JT just responded with a hashtag. I retweet it with a hashtag myself. Okay.
Yeah, and the hashtag was
Sorry.
in. Do you know what was the context of the hashtag? Hmm?
No, I don't actually care because they don't
And why are
actually
you
care
doing
about
this
what I
sort of
have to
bullshit?
say. Okay, they don't
He's
have
doing it
they
'cause
don't have to care about what I do. Timon, what's your thoughts on this so far?
I'm not trying to say it. I was gonna say this girl because okay, come we went over this on. I asked Vincent to cover this, but I didn't cover the girl. But I
Yes,
did
she
talk
didn't
about
make
the
her
girl.
move at this point yet.
I didn't talk about the girl, right? But I did mention her. But because I did talk about this artist and this 19-year-old Twitch stuff who does OnlyFans decided to interject.
Which is
And
completely stupid.
I'm,
She got more than
I'm
she
not
asked
going to
for.
say she's innocent. Like, and come on, get your point. Like,
No.
Vincent screws up, but this girl basically got like, I think
Ratio.
what. Oh yeah, isn't this the one Asmongold called out for having OnlyFans on the side? I believe.
I don't remember. Maybe.
But like,
Really? No, I don't think it was, but
was it this one?
I don't keep up with Asmongold.
But no, one of the people, and she's like, well, weird. So, like, I just think this was a stupid take. She got ratioed into the center of the earth.
Into oblivion.
Mm-hmm. Minor.
Let's be honest. These sort of people are literally a mental hazard at this point. They can't even reach simple sentences. This is absolutely the play. We should be doing this with all these scripts. Track down their significant others and mothers and string them up. Like, what else do you think the interpretation of that sentence is? You fucking
Can I
moron.
give you context?
The weird creeps and cancel them. Find the weird creeps and cancel them. Shame them, okay?
Yeah,
and do it via
go
the
after
mother
their
and
significant
significant
others and mother.
Yeah,
and doing
no,
that through
it's
mothers and
about
significant
telling.
others?
It's tattletaling, okay? It's encouraging tattletale culture, okay? It's like find their mothers, and I don't condone that either, okay?
Okay, can I say this too?
Yeah,
Didn't
which
he?
I'm not
Okay,
too,
this
I'm
is a
saying this
guy.
is crazy.
Okay, come on. This is an artist who has drawn for D&D, Magic, and 40K. Like he is employed by, like he has other projects he worked on. He was like doing Grimoire before he privated his tweet, and he has the activist mindset. Now I have to ask you, not something, how much of the tools of the enemy would you use, or would you ignore everything they have? Are you against turning the tools of the enemy?
Me or Camille?
Against themselves?
Okay.
Camille.
I'm not going to use tools that I don't agree with. Identity politics is one tool that I will never use. I'm never going to use your racist or sexist or transphobic or anything like that against someone. Okay. I can understand how some people could come to that conclusion, but I won't use that as a criticism personally.
Excuse me, I would say that like I would use the things that they actually are, which is racist. They are ultimately, here's the thing, I wouldn't like use the aimlessly throwing at them slurs slash insults slash oh you're racist phobe, so on and so forth, because that way the meaning is lost. But I would use actual definition-wise insults on them, because at this point, if we're going to use the enemy's tools, better use them correctly than with scattershotting as they do.
Would you
Because
use their weapon? Would you
here's the thing,
weaponize their hypocrisy?
yeah, in a way, but like here's an example. Like we all know nowadays, majority of these crazy feminists, for example, are
You
misandrist.
don't.
This is confirmed. Anita Sarkeesian, Zoe Quinn, and so on are fucking misandrist. Then call them fucking misandrist. They had for years called us racist, sexist, and so on and so forth. Time to fucking clap back with the same insults, but on point.
Okay.
It's just a perpetual cycle doing that, in my opinion. You're just going to create a cycle or maybe a freaking spiral. You need to fight
You could
against
say
bad
that.
ideas with better ideas.
Yeah, you could say that, but like, let's remind you. Do you remember how in America, or how Americans lost what war was it?
Vietnam.
Yeah, Vietnam.
We
Do you
lost.
know?
We partly lost Vietnam because, as much as after the Tet Offensive, the Johnson did not want to send troops back into. He felt he wouldn't actually live long, and plus he could have driven all the way north, but he chose not to. But also, it was
Because
also
of
the
optics.
first. Well, yeah, half of his optics was half of his health, because a lot of Johnson men, pardon the
Were
phrase,
demoralized.
no, they actually, reason like blood pressure, they would die. Like, not to say he died like years later, but a couple of short.
I mean,
after.
like more. I mean, like in terms of like.
But we lost it
statistics
partly due. It was also the first war televised.
Yeah, which caused the
War.
fucking stupid ass. What was it called? Optics
The
problems.
the radicals in the 60s, which were the baby boomers' children,
Mm-hmm.
which were the greatest generation's children,
Mm-hmm.
to actually start basically becoming who in turn they're borderline very radicalized themselves. They even impressed the Soviets on how radicalized they were later on, because Yuri Blezhnov is the one who's asked about that. And it's not changed as much as you're understanding. These people demoralize people or spread a narrative, and they
The point of like communist dogma nowadays, thanks to Gramsci and his fucking ideological bullshit.
Yeah.
We're now playing constant war of optics, where one side is currently always doing the most horrific stuff. For example, let's look at the awful things Viet Cong did. They strung up people, killed people, did the most horrific fucking shit ever, and they got away with it, and nobody said anything. When America tried to even implement similar tactics to scare them off and show them the true horror, and basically go without gloves onto them, the American public basically caught on, and because of bad optics, and as they planned, because of those bad optics, backfired onto the military and also on the soldiers on the ground. And because of that, again, majority of your veterans after Vietnam got shunned,
50,
literally destroyed, and the profession of itself of soldiers became more tarnished after Vietnam. That's obvious. And again, nowadays, even if you look at your American culture, veterans are literally, in a lot of places, are seen as shit. Like, look at California. A lot of veteran fucking encampments.
Now, there's twofold, right?
Okay.
You're talking twofold in an idea if we're fighting a similar mind virus. The idea, right, is my whole thing is history doesn't really change from what it is. Like, history, we're fighting. What was it? If you don't learn,
the tools actually do change, but humanity
I wouldn't say
fights the battles in the same way. Okay?
So basically, like
time
the
is a flat
issue, right?
circle.
The issue, right, is when people fight, right? You're also talking. Well, the idea of, I'm not saying that the greatest generation's children were a softer generation, so to speak.
Yeah.
They were. It's kind of like, if you look at it, is when some of these went off to a war, they had it because we're talking people don't. Generation, you could say, possibly doesn't. But these people, some of them came back very radical, didn't, but like the war at home was partly why there was issues. But on top of this was there was a changing culture. You started seeing a shift because like people, you had a little more quote unquote grandiose little bit. The hippies, not all, like I've dealt with some of them. Some were roughly normal. They weren't all dope smoking people who were burning their bras, etc. Those types. But
I
some
would say
were
they were the
very
biggest problem.
radical. The like 69s when really the dam broke, and that's like the summer of love. So these people, they're a very different mindset. Now, their grandchildren, arguably, because it was Yuri Bleshinov in 85, the famous thing he went around saying is, this is a man who, at the time, was responsible for flipping the Indian government, as well as a lot of propaganda in the KGB, said these people and their children are by far as radical as whatever. Now, you see the after effects of this. Now, I agree when I say about using the tools of the enemy to fight against them. Yes, you need to do it ethically, but you also need to understand the enemy. Right now, we have a lot of people who don't understand the enemy, which
I kind of understand it, and I'm just going to target them as fast as possible. Like another thing I kind of
Okay,
want to say,
just hit them
like
without
I have
understanding the sort of underlying philosophy behind their tactics. Go on. Yeah, let's hear.
I would say that like, have you ever seen Apocalypse Now?
It's been a while. Yes. Okay.
Long and short of it, do you remember that the villain's main motivation was around this sort of idea of using tactics against our enemies? And like, here's the conclusion I kind of want to, because here's another thing. Like, I have a friend who also had read a lot of Yuri Bezmenov stuff. He said like Yuri Bezmenov didn't exactly say a lot of this stuff. Like, I myself a little bit doubt his opinion, but like, I would say besides that, like from what I've researched, I wouldn't say Yuri Bezmenov and his people were the main people who caused this bullshit, but I would say more the Frankfurt School and the other people connected to that caused this through Gramsci's bullshit. And eventually, like you could say that like maybe or maybe not, Yuri Bezmenov's people contributed a little bit, but like the foundation was mainly set by the Frankfurt School, who later installed itself into institutions and created the culture war, thus creating all of this bullshit that we're still dealing today. So to undo this, you would need to, on academic level and above, start cleansing of this shit. I myself still am a student studying, and I already wrote my first paper, and I kind of already submitted my first paper on ESG. It was a fucking headache to write, but at least I did a contribution in academic sense. I hope, I think it will get ratioed in the ground if it ever gets published, because majority of academia is fucking retarded. The other thing is,
Unless you
I'm
have
trying
the
to.
idea.
Yeah,
now I will say,
but like further, I wanted to continue. But further, what I want to do after all, I already finished my degree, is for masters try to do 3D modeling or stuff like that, for basically trying to enter the field of game development as either consultant or like a 3D modeler and try to subvert their systems from inside alone, or at least with few people who could ideologically help me to stop them. And I hope at least I could save few studios, or if I don't go the 3D modeling stuff route, I would at least hope to go a little bit more like
Literally trying
public
to
relations
subvert
stuff
them from
to.
within. You're
Yeah,
coming
yeah,
in with
basically,
act.
yeah, I'm
You're
trying to
coming.
subvert with either 3D modeling route, or if I fail at 3D modeling, go through public relations and set myself up as a consulting firm and subvert the consulting firms. At least
Well,
that's
if I was to
a
go
few of the
with
ideas
this,
that
I
I
would go
call.
into more public relations and try to bring more people in. If we were going down this, I would call unethical
see,
sort of line to take over whatever industry you're in, yeah, I would bring in more people. That's what they sort of did. They got in human resources with actually who tends to be more majority empathetic people. And that's really how they sort of pulled that. You just want to pull the same thing. So I would go into human resources over.
Yeah.
If I was to do it, I wouldn't personally do it because, yeah, it's not ethical and it's not honest way to go about it.
Ethics sometimes kill us.
No, can I say this on the?
It kills certain people who want
So-
to push an ideological, but if you want to just sort of put bad ideas out there and let people see them for what they are, that's what I think is the best for more fair society. And
yeah, but you forgot one
create an
thing. Humans are
atmosphere
fucking
where
sheeple.
So, okay, come on. I brought up earlier because there's a story. I brought this up, and this was really more breaking news, and you can look up the actual borderline story yourself. There was a case, and it's really kind of a revolutionary case, too. The federal government in the United States brought a case against a former DEI manager for both Nike.
just exposed today.
Nike and Facebook and Nike that was basically, not stealing money, but like, what is it? Laundering money / wire fraud.
I was assuming that would happen sooner or later. Like, what against who brought them onto? Can you remember?
The federal government brought it, and therefore was like. But here's the thing: they knew federal government's known about this for a while. I have said before, like in my earlier videos, my own. I have said that these people came from originally HR departments. Now,
my God, this could have,
Did you not know? Because when people think about history, and this is what like I view history, and this when you're talking about what we are fighting, we have been years fighting just symptoms of the problem. So roughly around, about 2014, you started having the introduction of language, beginning the subversion. Like when people bring up Bezmenov, right? The concept of subversion is what a lot of people do, whether it's undermining a population. You need basically a generation of nitwits, which is a really good way to put it, and people. Because if you told people under that to say you need to take away and teach them gender studies or basically get them off their history of learning this stuff, you can actually start to create a brain rot or a brainwash entire generation into believing something. Like you're more Eastern European, so you've seen, if I recall, you've seen more of the effects of communism and that type stuff. A lot of people haven't. Like V is V is tried to say it for a while. Like, Dev will sometimes say V's more communist or like that type of stuff.
I would say that like Dev is talking out of his house when describing V. But like another thing here is just like I'm also an Eastern European or Eastern Bloc person. And one thing I kind of noticed is like with my parents' generations or grandparents' generation, there is a sort of like nostalgia for this shit for some reason. I don't know why. You still have some sort of nostalgia for Soviet Union, even though they understand that it was semi-bad for us. But that again depends on the Eastern European nation or Eastern Bloc nation we're talking about. And also, thank you for giving me this information that you gave about Nike's and Facebook's DEI manager. It's sad that this thing didn't happen 5 days before I submitted the paper. If this happened, I could have like literally added this to the
be
paper.
fair, I mean, it was a federal.
It
was a federal investigation, and I looked at it, and it's so bad in the U.S. that every single newspaper, coast to coast, covered it, and it wasn't us saying, "Oh, it's DEI," right? It was literally New York Times. You can
I
pull
found
up.
it only on Yahoo currently in UK when searching on it.
Yeah, you're talking basically. The thing to it is, right? These people basically, if we're talking, like I've said, social media has brain rot, right? Basically,
Mhm.
if you still even look at Twitter now, and this is not excusing all the bad behavior on Twitter,
Mhm.
we still have a bot problem.
Yeah.
There is
Yeah.
still like, I don't know how much you're familiar with theory.
With what? I couldn't hear you.
You cut out there. I think I
So
know what you're talking about.
I stopped.
There's also
Let him talk.
something interesting connection.
Sorry.
Vincent, tell
So
again.
the idea of bots, right?
Yeah.
There's still a ton of bots compared to actual users. It's just under Elon Musk stuff, you have less bots
Yeah.
that are
There is
present.
cleaning of it.
But to be fair, I still have to bot. I have to follow the occasionally because people I know follow Stitch and Adam. I have to block a bunch of thought bots.
Yeah, same here. Same here. I kind
But
of
it's kind of
follow.
like these people. What I mean, it's like you're basically dealing with think tank logic that has influenced a lot of people. Now you're not just dealing with the activists. You need to deal with the think tanks that inspire them. Now, propaganda, remember, works two ways.
Mhm.
The reason the Soviets could not subvert Americans was because they had a profound sense of nationalism.
And what about the Frankfurt School people? How did they subvert them, but like the Russians weren't able to?
Now, if we're going to go back to the idea of Gramsci, Gramsci has influenced almost every anti movement ever for the last most of it, because that's actually Arch's theory that he's gone back.
Yeah, it's a seed idea, okay, that can be applied really to any identity.
So the concept
is-
I say, right, because in the 60s and the 70s, the hippies that were burning bras and like basically doing that, they went into academics. Now, the Weather Underground guy, Bill Ayers, went into teaching. They started going into the academic industry. They started going into the schools. They went into the universities. Then you can say they were from there, and they worked their way down. You saw the destruction within a decade of the 70s, the destruction of the nuclear family.
Mm-hmm.
Like, that's in the US. Now, divorce rates shot up. You could say, well, maybe people are working, etc. But there's a big deal of you started seeing that going in. So when you're talking about, I'm not familiar with totally the Frankfurt School, but the concept of if you're talking getting into the academics and then basically getting radicals to pop up that radicalized other people,
Mm-hmm.
right? You don't need in the US, you don't need that. And not to invoke what Hitler said about America in Mein Kampf, saying with the Russians, he predicted the Russians would topple from under their own weight, which happened.
Mm.
The Soviets imploded. Now, I would recommend if people ever read Mein Kampf, it is one giant
tell
run-on
people about it.
sentence. It's one of those. It's one of the most giant run-on sentences. That's because German to English is bad. But he also in America predicted America would eat itself from within.
Yeah, yeah.
And they tried to accelerate that with bringing over certain ideas to certain people and pushing them in like Hollywood and other industries. Okay.
Well, Hollywood
There's
was always communist, so thank God we.
No,
get
it wasn't. No, it
It
wasn't.
wasn't always. Okay. They did a push. When
Excuse me,
I don't know
did
when.
you forget what Razorfist showed with Disney stuff?
Yeah, Razor
Okay,
Fist.
okay. Let you gotta take
Razorfist had a point there.
You gotta take Razor Fist with the gas salt.
Yeah, but like even then, he brought up a good example of how, for example, Disney in Hollywood had problems with communists because a communist fucking basically working union tried to fuck over his animators. The animators didn't want to go into that union, but Disney tried to help them and talk for them and said that these people were harassing my animators to join their union while they didn't want to. So do something with it. Like that's a known case that happened, and it's known that the creator of the union was then a communist. So again, there was an infestation of that, and then I
So
fucking
you're
Googled
you're talking about when you're talking about infiltration, right? It takes what? 10 to 15 years, right? So if we're talking what we've been seeing in social media is not only that, is a lack of an education and it's a lack of that cultural brain rot. Now, let's invoke something a little bit different. Now, Eisenhower's parting speech, highly forgotten about, is not everyone is familiar with the concept of the military industrial complex, but
okay.
military industrial complex, right? That was defining basically the ideas why there's a war every year for like around the world.
Yeah, basically, it's a what got a myth that's what got us out of the Great War and the Great Depression. I think
We've
it was a
just had
combination of things,
literally
though.
like post-war. It's very much the case of, but in the case of it too, Eisenhower also said you need an educated voting public. Educated voting public.
Mm-hmm.
Now, this is what's beginning to fall off in the US. I talked about this earlier with some people and like on stream as well before I had went live on my other, was you're seeing the rise of tribalism as well as misinformation. Now, when I say propaganda,
guys, I need to go.
Sorry. What happened? He needs to mute. Okay, you can continue going on.
So I see the rise in propaganda from both sides, but you have to look at it. I'm not an enlightened centrist, per se, as I understand the evils of both. I also believe radicals eat their own, and that's what we're seeing. Why is a person like Lizzo not a low? Is what 10 years ago she would have been a lolcow like Boogie?
Yep. Okay. She's being celebrated and glorified.
Well, not
okay?
anymore now because she
Well,
apparently
of course
fat
not.
shames people, but you get what I'm saying. We put people on pedestals now, but we also have the death of the Hollywood star. There are no more Hollywood stars. That's very different in 6 years. Celebrity culture
We'll
is
have
dead.
some directors. We have some superstar directors, but hell, some people consider Ryan Johnson. Those are sort of waning. Like, the superstar directors, that's sort of going down also. We do have also superstars, but our superstars are people like Ryan Reynolds. They're just not what they were in the 80s. Arnold Schwarzenegger.
No.
They've changed, okay, and they're diminished, okay? But there are still superstars, but not to the same degree.
Now, to his point, when he said that there were communists, now people forget about. Now, if you're not familiar with Razor Fist's take on this, Razor Fist is a very much an Arizona. What I think he's Arizona.
Okay, I'm back.
He's an Arizona libertarian. Now,
who are you talking about?
Razor Fist. Razor Fist is a very strong libertarian.
Figures.
I would say he's
practically
a little bit
anarchic.
I wouldn't say he's anarchic. I'd say he's a little bit iffy with his stuff, but like he's a libertarian more or less.
Okay, when you're talking libertarian philosophy, it depends where he comes from because a lot of
Eric July is an anarchist. Like Eric July is a libertarian, but he's an anarchist,
anarcho-capitalist. Yes.
Yeah. I don't know about Razor Fist.
Now, the thing about when you're talking about like a person like Razor Fist, he's good with some of his stuff, but he also comes with a very jaded. When he's talking about Hollywood was always red. Now, you're talking about a culture in which, let's say, through the 50s, I mean, when you had the Gunsmoke and the TV Western eras, you actually had gay people play cowboys, but people didn't know they were gay. You did not
Oh,
know.
cowboys were gay. But go on.
No,
Yeah,
but seriously, they were actually gay stars, and people knew they were. Uh, Andrew Burr or Adam Burr, who played Perry Mason, was a known gay person. They knew George Takei was gay for years, but his closest friends did not say anything till he came out on Howard Stern. He came out. Like, these people were like there. Now you had a shift or a tonal shift. Like, what would you put it? Like, to bring it into like people like the world of the world of Fallout setting, if you're familiar with it, Kimo. The idea is that was been stuck through almost 2077. It was stuck in a perpetual state of America in the 50s, in the 60s, maybe 70s.
Yeah, it was sort of
Literally,
just had a trouble. Trauma caused them to sort of revere this particular era. I believe that's the sort of framing Fallout gave
like,
it. Okay.
and you see what that culture would do in the worst case. You still blow yourselves up, but it has that reverence, but you have more of a decay. You don't have communism, you have more of an ultra nationalism
Mm-hmm.
that can work both ways. Now, in the worst case, right, if you don't have the flip, so you're seeing a change in a lot of these people, like the TikTok girls and the idiots on Twitter. They're not. As I told him, Lizzo would have been a lolcow overnight 10 years ago. But nah, they're celebrated to a certain aspect until they screw up. Now, okay, Camille, do you know about what the Overton window is?
yeah, the window of acceptable opinions, or like basically the window where it basically moves from one side to the other of the political center.
Yeah.
It's basically the window where the sheep live, if I were
It's
to
not
say.
really sheeple, but it's a concept of left or right.
Mhm.
Like, you have a society goes left to right, or liberal and conservative every so often, and then it eventually swings back to a medium. Since the election of '08 with Obama, America was kicked over so far left, it's taken that long to come back. You saw in the wake of what also happened in '08 and '09, you had a massive writers' strike in Hollywood. Okay? That cleaned out a lot of boardrooms, a lot of veterans retired. I think like Chris Gore started getting out of Hollywood around that time, and everything else. You started having new blood come in. You saw the change in American television. You saw eventually the change in the gaming industry. Because what? GamerGate started about 2013. And it takes 3 years, 4 years to get into a project to come forward. Now you're seeing it, but you also saw infiltration. A lot of us that recognized the activists getting it in, we were like, yes, but you did not have the old guard guarding
it's gone.
generation.
Yeah, here's another thing. Like, I never understand. Like, do you follow Oli Barter, the guy?
Yeah, well, you.
Yeah, basically in his recent conversations, he's been saying what, like, now we're having deletion of old guard of the gaming who have been long, very known people and stuff. And I was just like, my man, even to him privately, I don't believe that there are any old guard left. Like, I feel like the people who now fired are more the new people who were hired like 5 to 10 years ago, and they're not old guard, they're bitches. He said, no, I still see a lot of old guard people being deleted in the industry, and it's sad. And I was just like, okay. And then the stuff with Hi-Fi Rush happened, and I admitted that only one fucking studio worth a damn got nuked together with Prey Studio partially, but the Prey Studio also imploded already long and short. And I was just like, okay, two studios that had some capacity of old guard or had at some point but got deleted before they got deleted. And like again, I was just like, okay, now we don't have no fucking old guard in the fucking industry from the West. Amy Hemingway and all of her people are gone. Chris Avalon and his people are gone. Several great writers from Bethesda are gone.
You're talking like, okay. Here's the thing with someone like Hi-Fi. Okay. The dangers. How much of the world of cyberpunk are you familiar with?
Read a bit of the lore, know the basics.
You know the basics.
Mm-hmm.
Why are we going to cyberpunk now? Okay,
because
that
needed.
has more progressive roots. Okay,
so
the creator of that is rather progressive.
So cyberpunk popped out in the dystopian future of the predictions of the 80s, or hell, Star Trek actually thought we'd blow ourselves up. But the reason why the world of cyberpunk kind of is, we haven't avoided the cyberpunk future. What is the big prevalence in cyberpunk, especially by 2077? Massive corporatism.
Yeah.
Massive
transhumanism, but that's sort of tied in with the massive corporatism. Yes.
It's like a massive, like, you have Disney's, they never stopped growing. They became super conglomerates.
Yeah.
I would say more like Facebook or Microsoft and that.
Well, yeah, I mean, everyone
really
figured it's really funny how social media is, even Facebook is having like Meta as it's known. Meta is having fiscal issues itself, so we don't know how long that's going to stick around. But the reason I bring in cyberpunk, we're heading more towards, without proper regulation of industry and other stuff, like I've said for years, we're heading closer to the cyberpunk future. Basically, you're going to have an elite who influence and either control society, right? Because, like, and then it's just going to be the public's going to go along with it.
Yeah, the other thing I kind of wanted to bring up is just like, I feel like it's going to be either a bit of equilibrium and cyberpunk with our current situation. Like, back on the track on the article that you mentioned, like, goddamn, man, if this event happened like 2 days sooner and this article popped up sooner, I would have fucking nailed my fucking argument better than what I had, because like this news with the Nike stuff just proves what I was kind of assuming could happen and already happened, that basically all of this stuff with the ESG and so on and so forth is just greenwashing and just like basically them doing it for money laundering because investors are morons who just want to be activists, and they're the reason that this stuff is happening. The investors are activists, they demand stuff be activist, they create criteria that are activist. The people under them didn't want that and either left or got done with it, and they got replaced by a few activists and semi-competent people. The semi-competent people were sheeple and didn't do anything, and the activists became just annoying and destroying everything, while the people who were just doing it for checkboxes just laundered money with this stuff. I fucking knew this shit would happen.
So here's two things when you start getting.
I figured this was happening all along. Okay,
a lot of it, like
I had an assumption, but like, here's the thing: I was assuming I had an underlying assumption. I would say that like I had an assumption of underlying possibility through the research. I had concluded, finalized that it could be 100% real. And then this happened, and I'm just like, okay, I was fucking right always, and you are fucking right with all of this shit.
So
the point is, we need to somehow to push back to it. I had the two methods that I said, either through public relations and create a consulting firm, or through 3D modeling and become a person with a spine inside of the industry.
Now, I have a thing. Let me throw out a thing. Now, when I said the Overton window I think it will swing back. It's just taking.
It's already swinging back. Okay.
I mean, here's the thing.
GOONerGate is sort of proof of that.
So
For
Okay, in a
fuck's
bad
sake,
way.
Vincent, can I just say something?
That's the name
Like,
I'm going with. No, sorry. Sometimes you
give me a
gotta be
sec.
brutally honest to be heard.
I'm gonna just
Okay.
be honest with
No,
you then. Give me a second. Give me a second. I have a meme for this situation. Where is the fucking meme? Where is the fucking
okay.
stupid ass meme?
I
go on.
actually think actually one of the bigger problems is the only reason like when GamerGate happened, we've
Yeah.
been fighting the same people for 10 years.
I would say 20 at this
No,
point.
not really. They've evolved. The culture has evolved and it's
I wouldn't
changed.
say.
I mean, the face has changed, and even the ID, even the sort of ideas changed. Okay,
I would say spade
shifted.
is a spade still.
Well, okay, Vincent.
Ah.
Why am I seeing people, right? Do you remember when I think I talked about like the Kim Billar stuff with the symbol of unity with like Hamish Bode and other people at Ubisoft who have either been there or on failing projects? They've had a stable paycheck for almost 6 something years. I've watched Hamish Bode go from being a community manager for Massive, him and Yannick. Yannick is a French programmer who actually finally woke up and he's like working in the internals of more Massive now. And he's part of fixing division, the game, and then working on the next. But these people who were community managers, somehow the spineless vegan worked his way up and worked his way through Ubisoft. Now, certain people are still there in the industry. Now, to a point of when does it become weirder? Like, okay, see, this is weird. See, Kimmel doesn't know this. I think I've said this story. It's the idea. Blizzard, right? V was told a story by an artist inside Blizzard many years ago. Now, this was probably pre like WoW was bigger, like time period, but it was definitely 08, 09, pre GamerGate. Now, so he has an artist. He's the one who does V's avatar and does stuff, and V has a couple of others. This man had a girlfriend who was working inside another art department. Now, she played WoW. They used to have a t-shirt. She's the only woman in her department. I guess they work in small groups. We all knew kind of how.
Focus, team on what
I am.
what about the t-shirt. I've heard this before, but
It's a t-shirt that said "Rogues do it from behind."
yes.
Now,
and she got in trouble for it.
Her manager came over and said, "Could you not wear that shirt again? It's offensive to other women and other people in the office, or other women." What other women? So you're a male? So you started seeing male feminists inside Blizzard in almost 2010.
And male feminists are creepy as all hell. They tend to try to use that to get into bed because they're betas. But go on.
Or the concept of you already saw this in the culture. You already saw this creeping in. And it's an official WoW product. You know what I mean? See, come on, lads. It's an official WoW.
Okay.
It was an official WoW product. Get it? Rogues backstab.
Okay, but they've matured. They're beyond silly. I hate that fucking matured argument. Okay, they try to use that to be like people who enjoy the past and jokes are immature. Okay,
Now
you just have to consider everyone's feeling. I mean,
I
there is
will-
the profession. If they made the argument, okay, that we don't think the shirt is professional. If they kept if they wanted a very professional culture, I could see an argument for them wanting to, but if they were just doing casual, if they were perfectly fine with casual and didn't want her to wear the shirt, that is a problem. Okay, I hate fucking double standards. She can't wear what she wants, but other people can. because it's offensive. Okay, do a uniform then. Okay, everyone has to wear a suit and tie or some sort of dress code. It's a little bit bullshit in my opinion.
And
But
see,
yeah,
this whole
it-
thing of if we've been fighting, like part of it, as I've said, we are fighting progressives. We aren't fighting liberals or conservatives. We're fighting progressivism.
and post-liberal people on the right. Okay, that's what I consider.
You're
progressives and
basically this
post-liberal.
problem of 100 years ago, about this time, they came up through conservatives. Now they're come this time around, they came up through the liberal ranks. Democrats embraced it. Now it's kind of like if you look in the US, any other time in history, Black Lives Matter protest would not have turned deadly or turned into that. Look at, like, I don't so secret I live in Texas, right? But look, this concept of, do you know why out of Dallas and Texas cities you didn't hear out of these Palestinian protests them destroying shit or causing issues like in New York? Even New York started clapping back against them.
I would say with like the protests of there happened some protests in Austin and they got clapped by the government, which was a little bit insulting. I've seen like the recordings of it through my friend G-Link. Have a look at his channel. He kind of documented his viewpoint of the protest. It was a little bit the government, like it looked like the government was pushing on it. But at the same time, you could say that like it was a little bit retarded from the protesters' view because they were supporting literally crazy people who tried to kill the Jews.
Yeah,
And,
but my
and
point.
at the same time, the Jews are now genociding those people. So,
but you get what I'm. But you getting what I'm saying. They
yeah,
don't
and also
step
Vincent,
in.
I
They
found a
don't
meme.
step in. They don't step in until the violence breaks.
Yeah, Vincent, have a look at the meme and like, can you put it in the background of the video or on the left so we could see it?
I'm sure.
I'm gonna read it. I'm reading it. You guys
It's
go
on the Discord.
I see
Man,
it.
I'm
I see it.
sure.
Let me read it before I
But
decide if I
see,
put
this
it
is
up.
the thing. Like New York had to put in this restriction. The reason I bring this up is, as well, modern day activists thought this was the equivalent to the Berkeley riots in the Vietnam era. No, it wasn't. And the fact alone, a lot of them had the same universal thing, not the pro-Palestinian movement, tents, organizations. Biden's administration won't investigate that. But these people, they don't get out of hand in areas where there's law and order. But like when you had the Black Lives Matter protests ripping through like Portland, New York, they refused. Like Seattle, Trump was like, do you want National Guard? Nah, guys, we got it. No, we're just fine. They destroyed businesses that haven't recovered to this day. So you're seeing not just change in culture, you're beginning to see this rot go into law. It went from law and order, now it's going downwards to the average person. Now you're hoping that the village goes back to normal and starts raising the child. But what happens when that village is batshit insane? Basically, or parents don't think about TikTok. Now, some people you can only ingrain in your kids use common sense or use your better judgment. Some people go, okay, parents raise their kids on the thing. They go to TikTok and they start self-IDing. Like, it's funny how, like, Ben Affleck's kid as well as J-Lo's kid either came out as gay and one came out as non-binary.
Yeah, it's just retarded at this point. Like, I had seen this, like, again, if Vincent didn't tweet GOONerGate on the tweet that he tweeted and read the context of the tweet, he would have seen a
I'm
streamer.
gatekeeping. I'm gatekeeping.
Excuse me. The initial tweet, which you like, the tweet upon the tweet upon the tweet that you retweeted on, was about a crazy streamer who was talking about exactly this stuff, that she was going to force her kid to become gay or trans, and she wouldn't give a shit if her kid was basically going to be
And
straight.
what does
She's
that
going
have
to
to do
force
with Kotaku? Okay, what did that have to do with
again
Kotaku? Did they defend her?
because it was no.
Because they
No.
did some sort of soft defense for her or admonition of. I do remember that much. Sorry, I didn't look too much.
And journalism in Kotaku is dead, and people wanted.
Oh god, journalism's been gaming journalists.
Anyway,
okay.
Anyway, have you seen the meme that I sent?
But should we advocate for just the mass scale insanity we're seeing now, being goons?
Excuse me. What?
Don't excuse me. Just tell me, okay? Don't excuse me. Just tell me.
What gooning are you talking about here? We can't have nowadays.
It's a double meaning, okay? It has double meaning. Goons, okay? They're like a goon squad who like goon games, okay? Like Stellar Blade. It has two meanings, okay? I love double meanings.
I mean, what do you mean fucking by goon? You mean goon as in sex pest or goon, aka a person under a mafiosi?
Both, okay?
I think he means
double speak.
Okay, here's the problem, Vincent. Here's the problem.
It's not double speak. It has two different meanings.
What did I say earlier?
Yes, I know, but like this is bordering on double speak of using one word and meaning another at the same time. It's a headache.
Okay. There's a difference in the concept, right? Of like, okay, come on. I brought up this example. I was covering Blurred and his people who do a leftist version of gaming. They were like, oh yeah, no, people playing Stellar Blade only play with one hand. Mm-hmm. Insert joke here.
It is a bad joke, okay? But sometimes you made us watch that horrible baiting thing.
Do I have to explain that? They literally think that's why they go, well, that's why people play video games. Well, perfectly fine. I've seen people play Stellar Blade but they go, yeah, they insist it's all goon stuff. Now, my experience, by the way, which is more or less the funny in the art community, the furry and the degenerates that pop out of the left are more the gooners. But
yeah,
I don't know, but I'm old enough to remember DeviantArt, Tumblr, and 4chan.
Yes.
Yep.
I wouldn't say 4chan was that of a big sex pest nowadays. With their
Newgrounds even.
Newgrounds.
Oh god, no. Newgrounds.
I'm fine with pissing people off.
But here's the thing: when you're talking,
I can clarify my position.
But here's what I say.
This is goon tactics, okay? No sense of ethics are being employed. They're using their own logic, which I can understand to a certain degree, but them coping about it sometimes. Fucking, I started. No, that was the last stream. I started off with Grums trying to make this big sort of us versus them tribalistic sort of thing. Mm-hmm. Then later on, what they basically asked the same question as you, Tiamat. When should we fight fire with fire? Be like, okay, do everything you can within legal. And a lot of people just push back. He was like, well, you're trying to win the middle. I'm like, you're not going to win the middle. And seems like actually a lot of people were with me when he Grums tried to correct. I think it's out of his control, but maybe I'm wrong there. Okay. There's probably some people are like, yeah, legal means, but yeah, I'm not calling everyone in the movement goons or gooners.
Yeah, but like, let me just say this. We'll read the meme that I sent to you and just like open it on the stream. Like,
it makes nope. I can't figure it out easily.
This is why I can like again open it on the picture so our friend also
can't do that easily. Okay,
like open
it. Send it to Tiamat. Okay, he can look at it.
I don't have his. I don't have his account.
I will send it to him. Okay, I tried to post it up.
My man, you could just like open it in a like you click on the image, says open in browser, click on open in browser, and just show a browser window of it.
I'm just sending it to Tiamat, okay?
Oh, for fuck's sake, you're omitting evidence.
It's not evidence. It's a stupid ass meme, okay?
Yeah, I mean,
by the way, you forget though, he asked for Romeo to send him the other reference the other day. Oh no!
Yeah, did I show it on stream? Did I show
You
it on
asked
stream? No.
for it.
Yeah. Okay, I looked at it. I thought about it. It's retarded. Okay. Give me your thoughts, Tiamon. I sent it to you. Okay.
Tiamon,
It doesn't
have you
deserve
seen
to
the
be on
meme?
the stream.
I will look at it. I've got it.
It makes
Yes.
because
My
here's the
real-
thing. This is a jab at the centrist, and I fucking like it because I also went into this.
Yeah,
you're
and
doing
I'm
a jab at the
gatekeeping. I am
centrist.
all for
You're gonna-
gatekeeping.
Yeah, you're
I'm all
gatekeeping,
for
and you're
gatekeeping.
gatekeeping for.
Yeah.
You're gatekeeping for the enemy. You're helping
You
the enemy
actually-
fucking team.
By the way, Camille, you have.
I'm all
me
for
on-
gatekeeping.
you
I'm
actually
gatekeeping
have
the
me
stream.
on,
That's horrible
you-
meme.
What
you
is it,
have-
Team Miana?
You actually have me on Discord.
Wait, what's your name? Can you what's
Dragon Summoner 2.
You exposed yourself on stream. You're gonna get trolls after you, Tiamon.
Oh, you're the guy. Oh, why the fuck are you sending so much stream messages? Quit with the stream messages. I've been going crazy.
Because
on
he's
this.
asshole. Okay. You don't.
I
You can
invite
ignore him,
people
okay.
too. You just be.
He does
I
sometimes.
don't
He
need
invited
this.
me on with Lucifer. Okay. Lucifer probably went to
I
bed.
get it one time. I get it 2 times before. 10 times. I said no. I closed the window. I
He's
didn't want it.
annoying. He's
I
annoying. with
invite
it, but-
people to watch. You know, if you don't
Anyway,
want
and-
to.
Yes.
Anyway, have a look at this meme. I'm sending it to. Okay then. Like
I
this
see
sums up
it.
a situation. Like Vincent is now helping the enemy to close their gate and defend their fortress by giving
I'm
them
not helping
ammo
them
or
at
such
all.
thing.
Okay. I'm
Excuse
helping
me, what
myself.
the hell? Here's the thing, Vincent. What will happen in your if your GOONerGate hashtag does caught on, or some leftists
It'll
found
be
out about it, or
hilarious.
you
Okay.
side up,
It will be beautiful. Okay.
it would be beautiful.
Especially
but
if
you
it comes
gave
from me.
them ammo.
Okay.
You gave them ammo. You gave them free ammo.
No, I didn't. It's mine. Okay.
Yeah, but
Okay.
you can't control.
I am the
memes.
origin of that. Okay. I can't control memes, but it's mine. Okay. So fuck
Can
off.
I say,
can
okay,
gatekeep it.
here's the thing about what you just said. Okay. It's not that
It's
Archie. and the
retarded,
people-
right?
Here's the other thing. It's kind of maybe accurate, but let me sum this up. The gatekeepers. So, the phrase that Archie and other people have come up with is gatekeeper be gate kept. What does that mean? Future gatekeepers, okay, the people go, hey guys, let me in your space.
Mhm.
These people become the future gatekeepers.
Mhm.
They go get inside, infiltrate, shut the door behind you, and gatekeep you out of what you like. Oh, you remember Star Wars when like the Force Awakens, right, came out? The Rey movie? They had people there. They were like, oh, let the normies in the hobby, and they started gatekeeping people out, the fans out. Oh hell. You see that, like, gatekeeper be gate kept. I've been always responsible about growing spaces. Like, I'm not gonna say, oh, like, let's say hypothetically, right? Grow spaces and grow hobbies naturally. All right? That's what we need to do. Now, the problem is, and it's not that I became totally black-pilled about culture in the last,
10 years.
Period. I've seen the death of, like I was actually legitimately shocked, as I said, X-Men 97 is a no-nonsense bullshit show. I'm actually shocked. That came out of Disney. But it's not getting viewership because people canceled because they canceled Disney Plus.
I would say again, I've seen the show for what it is. I didn't like it.
What did
The
you
few
not
designs,
like? What it is?
First Storm design is shit. Some designs are shit. General aesthetic feels like janky. The plot, I gave up on X-Men and Marvel and in general comics for a long time, since like 2015. I don't give a shit at this point.
Okay, so
here's
the part about X-Men 97, and I'm not going to say for you to win you over and watch it. The thing about the show is it was a direct sequel to the original series.
Mm-hmm.
Now, Bo DeMaio came with a concept. I'm going to use the stories that are influential, like Executioner, right? Wrath of the Executioner, very big storyline that no one ever covered, or they didn't do, and it was a very radical storyline that he actually found a way to fuck up most of the X-Men. Now,
but you're giving it a chance, okay? You went in with good faith, and you like, okay,
I
this
will
isn't
say,
quite
when
shit,
you talk
okay?
about the Storm design, that was Storm from it. Like, the only things that I will say are very weird is the abridgment. There's not really, like, I'm like, okay, so they're going to do the modern Marvel thing. They're going to have girl bosses. Not particularly, because they're going off some of the storylines. The Storm in the black outfit, that was Storm in the 90s, right around the Dark Phoenix saga. Not the one in the white suit. That was X-Men the Animated Series.
Yeah, but another thing I would like to say that I kind of didn't like is like we already kind of had a conclusion to the old X-Men cartoon in form of a comics, I remember correctly, and it ended pretty nicely in its own timeline. People liked it, but instead they brought these people and just did whatever they're doing now. And from what I've seen and heard of the show, it's just like meh, apathy, destruction, burn, and they also started to lean on the whole X-Men are representation of the minority people thing that people were in the past pushing a lot, but now it kind of feels stupid.
That's not the case, though, for the show.
Yeah,
Yeah, come on, do some
like
gatekeeping. Lay down some facts about that, okay?
Okay,
How
the
it follows
show,
old
right?
comic books, okay?
Okay,
again,
here's
Do
the
some
I'm
gate.
in general done with comics books, so you're
Okay,
not
but
going to
I'm
add
not
more
gonna.
on it.
I know you can't win someone over, and if anyone sees this, the thing about X-Men '97, it's not that people trusted Disney. The thing is, you go in optimistic. Now, I don't like the abridgment of some episodes, which, if you know what the abridging is, you take Life and Death, right? Which was a very big story where Storm gets depowered. She goes to go get with Forge. It's actually the quintessentially how Forge and Storm start a relationship. She realizes Forge created the gun that depowered her, which then turns out she goes back to Africa at the end. There's part 2, and then gets her powers back. Part of the abridgment, they have 20 episodes to work with, so I'm going to take this, and then I'm going to take 8 minutes, introduce something. Yes, but there is no girl bosses. Now, the problem about it is they're going over and they're actually paying tribute to the comics. If you know
Which is
the
always
story,
smart to do for the fans. Okay?
they are doing
and
it. And this was totally unexpected from Disney. We expected a woke disaster.
Well, it is still a disaster.
What part about it is?
Everything.
The Genosian Mutant Massacre? The Mutant Massacre and E for Extinction is a very big storyline.
Okay. Yeah, this is definitely interesting. I don't mean to cut you off, but
No,
this
you're
is gone way
fine.
too
Yeah.
far in
No,
reality. But it does highlight a very good thing. Someone going in very skeptical, but is finding the good parts of this, despite some of the flaws you're finding with it. The abridgment.
Let me say this though.
Some of the
I
designs.
know because I know
And someone
the
who was
story.
not even going to give a chance. Let me highlight this. Someone
Yeah.
who's not even going to give a chance for so many just checked out. Okay. I'm also one of those people who've checked out. Maybe I'll go to it eventually and maybe I'll like it. Maybe I won't.
So as soon as I saw they were going to go to Genosha, I knew what was going to happen.
Okay. Because it followed a certain line and it followed through with it. You were talking about this earlier with
I knew the Mutant
fun.
Massacre. I knew the Mutant Massacre was coming. Like, that's spelled out. like it. But am I depressed about it? Like changing stories or whatever? E for Extinction was a very big storyline. So is Fatal Attraction. Now, do I agree with how some of it's going down? Was I worried they weren't going to stick the landing? Sure, it's very different than Doctor Who. Doctor Who was doubling down.
No, gotta stop you there, Tiamat. I'm closing up the stream. We went over Doctor Who and the tragedy of that. Okay, but I'm closing this sort of a Rise of GOONerGate. GOONerGate? Yeah, you don't like it,
Vincent.
Camille, okay, it's fine.
Vincent,
It's meant to-
okay,
it's
what
meant
is
to
your take?
gatekeep GamerGate ideals and ethics from goons and gooners in some cases, probably. Okay.
Okay, Vincent,
And
how
that's fair.
how do you deal with like these people that okay, so what are you gonna do? So
I
are you
have no
are you
fucking clue,
telling
Tiamat.
people
I'm playing this by ear.
Can I say it?
Right
Are you
now,
basically gonna
I'm
take
thinking
the
of doing
attitude-
This Week in GoomerGate. I'm gonna parody This Week in GOONerGate. Okay.
So
If
how
this
are you going to
stupidity keeps up?
So
Okay.
are you going to take the gamer? Okay, so when gaming
I'm joking
went,
about the.
so when
I'm
gaming
joking
went
about the gatekeeping.
mainstream, right? Gaming went mainstream. Nerdum spaces used to be secluded spaces at some point. You know,
Yeah, because no one wanted in. Okay.
Either
You were a
people wanted
weirdo.
in or
you
you
were
wanted to
only
be
accepted.
outcast.
Okay. Yeah, it was
Now
the
you got a
outcast
lot of
place. Now it's
people.
the cool place, and cool kids are sort of
Yeah.
keeping the shit. Fuck
Nerds
them,
rule.
okay?
Nerds
Fuck the
rule
cool
the
kid,
world,
okay?
right? It's not that the jocks became bad later in life. Nerds wound up ruling the world. Now you got a bunch of places like you do need the normies to keep certain sectors alive.
And you know, the pretty people, the more jocks are like, oh, where do we go? Go to the fucking sports arena, you fucking maid head. Go to the strip club, blah, blah, blah. But I am closing out, okay? But
Yeah,
thank
have a nice
everyone
day.
for coming,
welcome.
and peace out. Yeah. Okay.